Hey, what's up? What's up, John? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Zach.
How's it going, man? Let's lower this music a little bit. Oop, we got that going too.
For sure.
Hold on 1 second. I think I got an echo going here. Where is
Okay.
that? I got it. Cool. There we go. Yeah, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, doing good. Doing good. Yeah, I just want to say you've been rocking the stream. Like I've been watching the stream and I'm like, wow, that's impressive. Like for you to come in, do 4 hours of streaming every day, like do you ever get tired or do you ever get like it's like a lot with streaming?
Dude, so you know what? I was pretty worried about that. I was worried that like 4 hours was gonna feel like burnout, but I don't know. Not yet, at least. We're 2 weeks in. I'm not feeling too burnt out. I enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah, I like trading and I love talking to people about it, so it's been fun. The only thing is my voice physically. I
Yeah,
start
yeah,
to feel I'm like, okay, I gotta not talk for a couple hours, drink some hot tea.
yeah,
But other than that, that's been my biggest issue so far.
yeah. You really got to be like a people person to talk to all the different people and stay engaged. So yeah, kudos. It's a really great stream. So I like watching it.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, what's funny is I'm not even like the most extroverted person in like small talk or like regular conversations, but when you got me in talking about trading, it's like I'm good. We can talk trading all day. But yeah, it was great. Trader Drysdale yesterday was awesome. Did you
Yeah,
catch that one?
I did. Yeah, yeah. I saw parts of it and I really like him. I think he talked about volume profile and
Yeah.
he seemed like a seasoned trader. You could kind of tell sometimes where they just are more relaxed and they give good insight and yeah, I quite enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, that was an awesome conversation. Yeah, he's been trading 15 years. So like I feel like in the retail space, especially people who are online, that's like he's a gem. There's not many people who got 15 years under their belt, at least on social media.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
yeah.
I learned a lot from him. Like it was funny because we trade volume profile, but I trade like some ICT stuff and he uses VWAP. So that was the difference factor. But we look at markets very similarly. We both scalp. We both go for like lower risk reward, higher win rate. So it was interesting just seeing the similarities.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah,
It's really wild. I'm trying to think of the quote. I think it was in Market Wizards. There's this book called Market Wizards where it's like the market is random, but it's efficient. I think that was the quote. like, so like, yeah, if you put the hours in, you can become a good trader. Like, there's logic to the market.
there
It's not
really is.
100% random. So yeah.
Yeah, and even like different people who have different strategies, there's so often we come to the same conclusion if we have like a good working strategy. So yeah, I thought that
Mm.
was interesting. That sell-off was quite exciting. So I actually locked in another 10K payout on Tradeify guys on stream
Uh-huh.
too. So we did two winning trades here, I think, or was it one? Maybe we took one winning trade on stream at PFM. And then I went streaming again later in the afternoon and made the last. I needed to make like $50. So I was like, let me just get this done. Let's get it recorded.
That is
And yeah, so that was awesome.
that is so fire. I was actually looking for the emojis. I'm so used to Zoom where you can put the fire emojis. I couldn't find it here. So, but yeah, man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, we had a good day for it. I feel like we just had like a very simple sell-off trending day, which was like I feel like I got lucky with that. It wasn't too difficult. I just got on board with momentum and we were good. What did you think about yesterday's price action?
yeah, same exact thing. I grabbed a nice short yesterday and Tuesday. I did well, um, but yeah, it was yeah when the market is just going down like that, it's you just catch the momentum. Um, but a funny story. So like I'm doing really good with the account that I'm like taking base hits and just being really strategic with. But then I found that I had this other like extra account floating around after I was done with my trading day, and I was like, all right, let me just try to pass this quickly. And it just showed me what it's like when you over leverage, you don't have risk management, you're not being picky, like how quick you can just make so many mistakes. And so that account is kind of like yeah, like kind of yeah. blew it
Hey,
basically.
it was an eval though, evaluation.
Yeah, it was an evaluation for sure. Yep.
Okay. I always say like if you're gonna over leverage or do that type of thing, if you're doing it on challenges, at least you're not risking the funded, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It was just because I found it and I was like, all right, let me. And that's the thing. Like I didn't have a good read on the market. I'm very honest when I don't have a good read, like
Mhm.
because I was literally like in my head, I'm thinking, okay, the market's gonna keep dumping, right? We had almost like a double top and we weren't able to clear it. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, this is where sellers are just gonna smash it. And so near the end of the day, I didn't have the good I kept looking for the sell. I'm like, there's no way we're gonna, it's near the end of the day, we're
Mm,
gonna keep dumping. And what I didn't realize is like we're still in a very much a bull market. Like that was just a
yes.
maybe something to shake out the buyers, like a just quick drop to shake out the buyers, and maybe we head back up. So near the end of the day, I kept looking for the sell when in fact, like it was heading up a bit higher, and we did get to some really strong levels and then pulled back. But I wasn't
Mhm.
patient enough to wait for those
So
stronger
I'm
levels.
guessing you were trading around here, like on this last little grind up. Yeah, because
Yes.
this is like the end of the day, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man. We just kind of finally like reverted because we were just going vertically. I mean, like we had some pullbacks. I mean, there were some nice opportunities to get back in if you were trading in the morning. But yeah, once the PM session came, it was just a slow grind up.
Yep. For sure. For sure. And
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. And
Yeah. I'm like, no, sorry. Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
no, no. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say for today, I'm with you on the fact that we're in a bull market still, and like I think at the end of the day, the market needs to pull back. We can't go up vertically forever. But I'm wondering if we have some more downside left because I actually have this naked point of control that I've had marked out. This is from last Friday, so this is an untapped point of control from the Friday session. And those prices can act like magnets sometimes. So I'm wondering, like, what I'm seeing on this 4 hour is this. We got this 4 hour fair value gap that's currently holding as resistance. So we tapped into it and we're getting a nice reaction lower. So I'm wondering if like we have some strength for like one more leg down to take out this swing low and maybe engage that naked point of control.
Yeah. Nice. Actually, yeah. No, everything's looking. I'm looking at my charts now too, and the sell is looking really interesting for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to get your charts up? Show us what you're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. I lost my NQ chart, but let me bring it back up. Uh,
You know what? I don't even know if I've marked out my volume profile levels either. I haven't tied my shoes today, as you say, John. So maybe I could do that real quick while you're getting your trades up or
for sure.
your charts. So I'll show you guys real quick. By the way, chat, what's up? I haven't even said what's up to the chat. How you guys doing this morning? It's good to be back. I know a lot of people loved Trader Drysdale yesterday. We got another great guest, by the way. We got Zach, Real Deal Futures. So we're gonna have two Zachs in the building. He's a great trader too, man. I've known him for a while. We've kind of like engaged on social media back and forth, and yeah, so we have a lot of mutual friends. It's going to be a great conversation. Zach versus Zach. Yeah, Dino, exactly. So that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that conversation. We just keep killing it with the guests because then the next day on Friday, we have JD Adastro, who's a great ICT trader, someone I'm really looking forward to speaking to. So yeah, we're just still getting really good guests too, which is awesome. But what I'm going to do, guys, is mark out my volume profile levels right here. So I go to my indicator session volume profile, SVP, and this is what I do every morning. Like I got to get these levels set up every day. So I mark out my previous day's low, of course. We mark out the previous day's value area low. So that's coming in on NQ at 25,007. Previous day's point of control is up here at 25,261. And then the value area high, it's only a few points above. So I'm just to keep my charts clean. I don't really need to have that one on there because it's like we're just a couple ticks above the point of control. And then we have the previous day's high. So this is our profile that I'm going to be looking at. And again, this helps just give me context on how the market is trading in relation to these levels. So currently we're below the previous day's point of control. We just broke below the previous day's value area low. So could we be more bearish biased? I think so. I think that's not a crazy thing to say, even though we're in a higher time frame uptrend, and we still have this naked point of control. So this one right here is the one I was referencing. And these can just act as magnets if they haven't been mitigated yet. So I think this is a pretty clear looking target to me. Like, it makes sense. We just got to see how the price action is going to want to get there if we're right. But last thing, the only other major level I'm looking at is the 4-hour bearish fair value gap that we have marked right here. So we tapped into it. It's holding as resistance. We're going lower. I don't think we have any news today. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's so weird, John. We've had like no red folder news all week. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got it.
Sweet.
Tomorrow we'll finally have, I think we have consumer sentiment. What do we have tomorrow? We finally have red folder news. We have CPI, so that'll be a big one. And we have flash manufacturing PMI. So tomorrow's probably going to be pretty volatile. It's also a Friday.
But those are in the morning, yeah?
Yeah, so we got 8:30 a.m. CPI, so we'll be live for that. I wanted to stream at 8 so that we can catch these news events, and this whole week there's just been none. So that'll be cool. We'll be live for that CPI event. And then, 9:45, like 15 minutes after the open, we got flash services. So should be good.
Nice.
Yeah, I see some people excited for Zach to come in here. By the way, we got some giveaways too. As always, we'll be running some of those a little bit later. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm almost done marking up my levels here.
No worries, man. Yeah, I'm just that's kind of what I see. I should also mark out midnight price, guys. We got to always have that for my style. While you're setting that up, I could also go over these payouts, guys. So this is on Tradeify. So if you see, now I'm at 0 profit, 0 trading days because it resets after each payout. But just for payout proof, we want to show these things. These are the most recent ones. So this was October 22nd, 5 payouts of 2,000 each on these 50K accounts. And these are all my payouts on Tradeify since July. So for the last 3 months, I think I'm at like 42,000 on Tradeify alone. And then we also got top step payouts as well. So it's been a really good few months. But I just love these instant funded accounts, man, because I just love not having to trade the challenge,
Sweet. Oh, that Tradeify is an instant account?
Yeah, it's the Lightning instant funded accounts.
Yeah. You say you're at 42K in the last few months?
For Tradeify, and then like 20, maybe 20 from Top Step as well in the last, like, over the summer.
That is fire. You are an advocate for prop firms.
Definitely an advocate for prop firms. And guys, like, this is what I do. I don't go for like these crazy moves. Like, so these are the 5 accounts, right, that we currently are trading on Tradeify. This happened in like 9 trading days. And these are the stats. It's literally base hits, bro. Average win loss is 1-to-1 pretty much. My average win is a little bit higher than my average loss. 73% win rate. And I traded micros this entire time. I traded 3 to 5 micros was my max position.
Mm-hmm.
And like 25 trades is really 5 accounts. So that's 5 trades in a day. So like the most executions I'm taking, this was the most trades I took out of all these days. It was 35, which equates to 7 trades. But usually you could see it's like 3 trades, 2 trades, 2 trades, 3, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't, if I have a couple of good executions, I just shut it down.
Yeah. I think me and you will have to talk because my base hits are around those amounts that you just showed. So I'll make $200-300 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm making base hits and I can leverage that across 5 accounts, that's
exactly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I love about the futures props because they really, they allow you to do like massive copy trading. So you just increase your leverage like to really a crazy, insane level.
That's very cool. Nice. That's a good plug for Tradeify for sure.
Yeah, Tradeify guys. They paid me out within 2 hours too. They're super quick.
Yeah, sweet. And I think there's
Code match. Code match.
Code match. Yeah. I think it should be down there, right, in the little bar.
Yeah, let's take. Yeah, it's definitely in the little bar. I think we'll pull it up here. We had a couple days ago. We actually had the best promo for Tradeify. Oops, gotta go to futures. We had the best promo for Tradeify anywhere. It was like an extra 35. Oh, it might still be available. So guys, try Match GC. If you go to propfirmmatch.com, if this is still available, I'd have to double check that. But 35% is the best anywhere right now. Like usually the promo is 30% if you use any kind of code.
Yeah, awesome. Yep, there it is. Prop for Tradeify, 35% off on all accounts.
There you go. Yeah.
Propfirmmatch.com.
Propfirmmatch.com, guys. Do you want to get your charts up? Do you want to show us what you're looking at, John?
Yeah, for sure. I'll do a top-down analysis.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, here we go.
Pulling up this midnight price. That's the last thing I got to do. Boom. Okay. Okay, cool. I see you got your chart up.
All right. So I'll just quickly run through the intraday levels. Let me put the open up here because we don't have it yet. So essentially what I'm looking at is we're in yesterday's range on both ES and NQ. So in yesterday's value. So this is this is the value from yesterday. So we're in yesterday's value. We're in yesterday's range, which means this is the regular trading hours high, or the high of yesterday and the low of yesterday on ES. And this is the high and low on NQ. So we're in yesterday's range and in yesterday's value. So initially that doesn't give me too much information. I don't have like a really strong bias yet.
Yeah.
And the overnight session is pretty neutral because this is the previous day close. This is where we closed at yesterday. And, we got above it and a little bit below it. So we're not doing this and we're not doing this. So again, that doesn't give me a lot of information yet. And the same with NQ. Overnight session is pretty much neutral. Nothing like this. So in yesterday's range and value, overnight session is pretty neutral. So based on my intraday levels, I don't have much clarity yet. So then I'll go to the 4 hour just to get like a bigger picture context, like overview. And so this is, let me zoom in here. Actually, this is the daily here. So on the left, I have ES. This is the 4 hour on ES. And what I'm noticing right away is that we have, let me make this bigger so everyone can see it. So we have this range here. And did we switch contracts? No. We're still in.
I don't think so. December contract still, I believe.
Yeah, we're still, okay, cool. Let me just make sure, yeah. Because this range looks a little off, but I think that's correct. But anyway, so the thing I'm noticing here is we're rejecting from the value area high of this 4 hour range. And it looks like we want to rotate back down to here.
Perfect.
So
yeah.
That's what I'm noticing. We still haven't cleared the POC, but based on what I'm seeing, it looks like we want to rotate here.
I agree. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Would you so when you get a loss, when the market loses that point of control, then there's a rotation down. Is that the value area low below it?
Yeah, value area low here. And based, I mean, like, yeah, I do look at the POC, but I do look for rotation more so than not, unless the market tells me different. So I do feel like we want to get back here. So like my bias would be more short, even though the POC is here. Like, I think we'll clear it. And if we don't, that's really good information. But initially I'm looking at the value area low down here.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty much what I agree. I pretty much have like very similar analysis.
Yep. And then for NQ as well, we're now finding acceptance below this value area low of this price action right here. And then we have this little cluster right here. So you can see we respected the POC here. And so this is really interesting. So we got back into this range. We weren't able to rotate to the other side. And now we're finding acceptance below it. So to me, that indicates that we either go here, and if we get back in here, then we want to target the value area low down here. So the first target I would look for is here, especially because we're in this gap. So I would look for, 24,880 maybe down here. And then maybe we do something like this to try to find acceptance back into here. Or sellers are really in the mix and we just slice through to get to the value area low down here.
One question I have for you, John. So you also, I know you have your fixed range profiles that you mark out that are to your left. I also see a volume profile on your right. Is that like a VPR? That's like, what profile is that being pulled from?
Yeah, so I used to use this. Actually, I'm not sure why it's on the chart, but yeah, it's the VRVP, the
volume range. I forgot what it stands for, but like, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I always called it VPR. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what's the full name of it? I probably can pull it up.
VRVP.
Yeah, VRVP. Not exactly sure the acronyms, but anyway, it just puts the volume on the right side. And so you can see the high volume nodes. The reason I stopped using this is because you can see that the POC is very much at those high volume nodes. So the fixed ranges give me that information.
Okay.
So you can see I have it on this chart, but I don't have it on this chart. So it just means that I forgot to remove it on this one. But I don't mind it. It's just, it takes up more, it's just extra information that I don't really pay attention to though.
Yeah. Because I was interested in asking, because when we had Trader Drysdale on, he uses high volume nodes and low volume nodes with his volume profile analysis. And that's something I don't use. Like, I just use the value area high, low, and point of control. So I was just wondering if you do use like low volume nodes, high volume nodes. I always stayed away from it because it felt a little too discretionary for me. I liked just having very specific levels, but I do know people that trade volume profile, like they love using those.
Yeah, for sure. I personally don't use volume nodes either, but I do correlate it with just the point of control. Like, a high volume node to me is where most of the volume was traded, which correlates to the fairest price to do business, which is the point of control. So
got you. Yeah, it overlaps kind of with the point of control in that way.
Yep, exactly. So when I think of low volume nodes, I think of it as just gaps like this, right, where not a lot of volume was traded. And there's probably, if for those that use this here on the side, they probably have methods of analyzing it, better than I do, because I don't use it as often. But I correlate it with like the fixed ranges and the gaps and the point of control and the value area, and it lines up. Like, I think if we were to do like a direct correlation, there'd probably be a lot of similarities between the nodes and the fixed ranges.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, so continue. I just was wondering that.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, and also a good thing. So I've been actually, and I think that forget his name, the trader yesterday,
Drysdale.
Yeah, like he mentioned market profile. Like, so James Dalton, I've been saying James Dalton teaches volume profile. He teaches market profile,
Yes.
which is like the letters. Like,
yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Yeah.
So I never got into that. Like, I didn't feel like using letters and stuff in my trading. So volume like is pretty similar. So I just stuck with volume.
Yeah, dude, that was funny because I brought that up because I just feel like the volume profile is just a more refined version of what the market profile was trying to do, but before it had the data, like to actually track the volume. Like, tracking time, which is what market profile does, seems like something you would do because you can't track volume. So you're getting like the next best thing. That's just my take. I know like a lot of old school dudes love market profile, but the letters, man, like Can we actually pull up a market profile real quick? I want to show people who don't know. Like
For sure.
Because I'll pull it up quick. Because when I was looking at this, when I first got into it, I was like, oh, this must be the real deal. Like, because of how complicated it looks. Like, I was like, this must be the secret to the market. That it just looks so complicated. So let's just like pull one of these up. They're showing a lot of volume profile. I need market profile. Here's one. This is literally a profile, a market profile where it's made out of letters, guys. So the most I understand is that each letter accounts for 30 minutes of time. So like your period A is the first 30 minutes of the market open. B is the next 30 minutes. And so each bar is a 30-minute time frame. And here's a good example too. Like it looks super official and like complicated, like it must be the real deal, but it just seems, I can't find it in here, but it just seems like silly to make it letters. I don't know why James Dalton did that.
Yeah. He definitely made it work, but like, so
here's a good example.
Yeah. So he called them like TPOs, time price opportunity. I think that's what it was. And so yeah, like I could see his logic where he's like, okay, if there's a lot of letters in a row, that means the market spent a lot of time in that area.
Yeah.
For me, like, because like I started with price action and what do you call that? Like not consolidation, but when the market ranges, like even intraday, like on the 1 minute, you'll see when the market spends a lot of time in a specific place because it's just going sideways. So I call that going sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you good information as well. Like how much time did the market spend going sideways? And then from there, you're able to assess different ideas.
Totally. Yeah. And like, I mean, it's proven. I think the like shout out to him because he created the original concept that my favorite tool, the volume profile, now operates under. So I just think the letters are funny, man. I was just like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah, I think I read his first book or most of his first book where he talked about like the bell curve, which is super interesting because like the bell curve is something about like where 70% of most of the volume is traded or something. I'm not familiar with the bell curve, but like, so he figured out like, okay, when the market moves sideways, like the value area is where 70% of where most of the volume was traded. So that's the value area. And then you have the point of control where most of the volume was traded. And from there, like maybe it's something scientific, maybe it's what do you call that? With the circle, like the spiral, the golden ratio or something.
Oh, like the 61.8, like when I think of golden ratio, I think of the Fibonacci retracement.
Yeah, Fibonacci, exactly. The Fibonacci. So it's in nature, right? You find that pattern. Yeah, must be your wife or your.
yeah. Sorry. Continue.
No worries. But the Fibonacci, you find that pattern in nature, right? So like, the Fibonacci retracements. Why is that popular in trading? Because there's some science to it, like it's really crazy. Like there's like science and human correlation to trading. So that's interesting. So like he figured, okay, like when the market ranges, this is where 70% of the volume is traded, and this is where like all those theories of like if we get back into that 70% range, the market will want to auction to the other side of that 70%. And so it's interesting. Yeah.
No, I actually still use fibs a little bit. And I used to love the 61.8. But real quick, you're right. That was the wifey. I just got to give her this charger real quick. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Dino, I agree. I'm reading the chat as well. So Dino mentions like learning multiple stuffs really complicates trades. Yeah, keep it simple. If you find a strategy that's super simple and works for you, like that's fine. Like
yeah, definitely.
But be aware too, like the market changes every day, so you want to make sure your strategy is able to adopt for those days. Like some days we're going sideways, some days we're trending. Like, and if you have a strategy or you're aware that the market does that, then and you can refine your strategy to account for all those days, like you'll have a better, I would say you have a better chance of success and putting probabilities in your favor.
Yeah, solid question.
Yeah. Shivam does have a question. Is it cool if we answer some questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good one.
Cool. Yeah. So Shivam writes, John, I have a question for you. How do you handle verification or validation before a firm is listed? Is there an automated process or manual review? So I think we touched upon this in one of our first streams, Zach, with how we list our firms. So we have a very strict process for listing our firms. The firm has to be in business for at least 1 year before they can be considered to be on Prop Firm Match. And yeah, unless they're backed by a broker, like that's one caveat. If they're backed by a broker, then we might consider them before that. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing the application process, you can create an account at Prop Firm Match, and in the upper left we have Prop Firm Business, which is our business offering for prop firms, and you can fill out the application, and it's a very thorough process. Our compliance team reviews it and asks a lot of questions about the firm. So yeah, it's a process. Yeah, for sure.
What was the number? I remember Joseph told me a number, like there were 100 or so firms who applied, and there was a very small number that actually get listed.
Yeah, like over 100, or yeah, like around 100, and only 6 or 7 got listed. And I do think it's more than 100. It could be like 120 or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, so what that tells me is either two things. Either we are just super, super strict, or is it that there are a lot of firms out there that really don't have the proper financials, or is it a little bit of both?
It's both, I would say, for sure. Yeah.
Like we have standards, but there's also a lot of not great firms out there.
Yeah, exactly. Or firms that just don't have the experience or the reserves for us to feel confident that they can pay out traders. So, that's super important. So like, yeah, the work we do is to make sure that if you pick a firm on our website, that you'll get your payout, that you're not dealing with firms that don't pay out, because that's the last, like as traders, we want to get our payouts, right? We want to make sure that we're dealing with reputable firms. And, many have seen, like we have delisted firms. If a firm, we have audits too. Like we don't just say, hey, you're on Prop Firm Match and you're going to be here forever. That's not how we operate either. We have audit process every 6 months, I believe. I'll have to check with our compliance team, but we audit the firms on our site as well, where we have to make sure that they're still operating efficiently for them to stay on our website. So yeah, it's a constant process to like make sure that we're always showcasing the most reputable firms on Prop Firm Match. Yeah,
no, that's the truth right there. Another good question here. Also, When Dizzle gave us a nice shout out. So When Dizzle has been in the chat since like day one. Very much appreciate you. But where is this question? Oh, it's right here. John, what's your take on my Forex funds? Are they coming back? What is your view on them? I think that's an interesting question from your perspective.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything because I just don't have enough information. But it seemed like a lot of people like them, and a lot of people are very forgiving of my Forex funds, which is super interesting. Just shows that they must have provided a good service, or because they were one of the first players in the space, a lot of people have an affinity towards them. So if they do come back, like, cool. But I have no idea. Yeah, for sure.
Was a Prop Firm Match already going on like at that time?
Yes, we were, and we had my Forex funds listed, but we had to remove them after that whole situation.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing about that situation, and again, I'm not a lawyer, guys. I don't know any of this stuff, but from what I saw, it's like I took many payouts from my Forex funds when they were going. They were my first firm I ever got paid out from. Never had an issue. From what I saw, it was like purely a compliance legal thing where the government was like really they kind of had it out for them. And I followed the case a little bit, and I'm pretty sure they like won their case for the most part, and like got their assets unfrozen. It was funny because like the government is telling them like you're taking advantage of traders, and all of the traders were like, no, like we like this, please let it, like you guys froze our accounts. We were good with my Forex funds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I followed the case as well. And it was a little bit open-ended to me near the end. I was actually looking for some type of resolution of like, okay, so what happened? But it was very open-ended, and I was like, what happened? Like, it wasn't clear to me. So yeah. Where it didn't seem like they made a strict decision on what my Forex funds needs to do next. It was just kind of like, this was the investigation, and yeah, it wasn't super clear to me.
Yeah, great question though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, for futures, what are the best firms for beginners? What's your opinion on that, John? What do you like for beginners, I guess?
Yeah, I haven't used many other futures firms, so I'm pretty biased. But for me, it's Top Step.
Mhm.
The rules seem pretty straightforward, and again, like Project X to me is such an awesome trading platform. Maybe I need to try a few other ones, but I mean, does Tradeify offer Project X?
They do now. Yeah, they recently got it like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. So for me, it's Top Step, like Top Step X. You can get an account for $50, 50K account. They offer 50K, 100K, and 150K. And yeah, actually, I had the thought, Zach, and I might prepare it this weekend, like a futures 101 session, maybe like sometime next week, where we just go over the real basics of futures and like tick sizes, like what's a point, what's a tick. Just for anyone who's interested in futures, we can just give them like a little breakdown.
I love that idea. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah, we should, dude. That would be great. Like a segment where you come on and we kind of break it all down.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm thinking of having maybe
Sweet.
the design team come up with some nice little educational graphics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Solid idea. I'm so game for that. And also for me, I think I agree with you. I think Top Step is a great firm for beginners, and also My Funded Futures. I think they're also a really good one because when you factor in the entire cost, they're actually one of the cheapest in the space because they don't have activation fees anymore. So like they have a 50K core account, they call it. It's like $71 all in. And again, their rules are almost identical to Top Step's rules. So $50 up front for Top Step is great for like a 50K, but you do have to pay that activation fee if you pass. With My Funded Futures, it's $70 all in. That's your whole cost, and you're getting pretty much the same rules. So I just think they're another great choice for beginners.
Very nice. Yeah, I think I might have to expand a bit outside of Top Step. I've been so devoted, or like just that's been my one go-to.
Yeah. I mean, I love Top Step, man. Definitely love Top Step. They were my first futures firm payout. They were the first one for me.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, definitely want that similar story. Yeah. So
Kian they're asking, is it true when you use Match as a code or buy an account through your website, your payout won't be denied?
we can't make that claim.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a higher chance it won't be denied, but we haven't had issues. And anytime, if you do get a payout denial, reach out to us right away. Like,
we want to know if they're listed on our firm.
Exactly. So yeah, we have a good compliance team. Anytime there's an issue like that, we do a thorough investigation of why. There hasn't been many denials, or no, there used to be more in the beginning of starting prop for Match, because I think the industry in general was still like kind of new. I think the industry has gotten better, actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, absolutely. Like firms are starting to there's a bit of a formula for the business model, and if they could plug in the equations to the formula properly, you can make it work. Before that, it was like there was a lot of experimentation. Like everyone was trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'd get more reports definitely in the beginning, which helped us refine our process as well and make sure that our compliance team really reviews the firm, and we make sure that they can pay out traders for sure.
Man, a lot of good questions for you today, John. Another one. What's your take on trading at only prop firms? I've been failing for 3 years, no success till now. I'm feeling like it's a trap, but on the other hand, prop firms are the best. What should we expect at props?
Yeah, so you can kind of zoom out and view it a few different ways. So you've been trading for 3 years, and if you calculate your cost over those 3 years, like maybe do that analysis. How much have I spent on prop firms in the last 3 years? And then think about, okay, how much, like, if I were to go into the live market and I go in with a certain amount, like how much would you go into the live market with? And just think, would I be willing to lose all that money that I put into the live market, right? Because if you're failing, if it's been 3 years and you're still working on your trading, and again, like Zach has said it many times as well, it takes time to become a good trader. So just think, like, had you put in your own capital for the last 3 years, would it have amounted to more than you put into the prop firms? And if the answer is yes, then consider that a good investment, because you're literally investing in your trading education, into your trading knowledge. And again, I could say, like, yeah, you could paper trade and maybe not spend anything, but I do feel that if you pay for a challenge, you have more skin in the game, and you're more, I'd say, more determined to become a good trader than just paper trading. So that's how I would look at it. Has it been an education investment in yourself? Because think about it. If you were using your own capital and you made a big mistake, then you're down maybe more. So that's how I would view it.
Yeah, great answer. I agree. And one thing that I did, guys, that helps me a lot was I began to actually create like a budget. Like, this is how much each month, depending on what I'm making, whether if you have just a regular job or you do make money from props. It's really helpful to like actually write down a budget of, okay, this is the amount I can spend per month on prop firm challenges or instant funded accounts, whatever the case is. If I get to that point, I have to stop. Even if it's 3 weeks in, I got to stop for the week and paper trade. You can make sure that you don't overspend or dig yourself into a hole by budgeting properly. And then that helped me a lot. When I started doing that, I actually started getting more payouts because I just was a lot more conscious of like, okay, if I have X amount to spend this month, I have to really make it count. I can't just because a lot of people, I think they get into the cycle of, okay, if I blow the accounts, I'll just get a new one. But if you actually limit, like, I can only buy X amount of accounts, I don't want to just blow it for no reason. It'll actually help your trading.
Yeah, I echo that. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like, yeah, for me, I only have 2 top step accounts, and that's my budget. Like, I know I'm not going to buy another account. So I know how much I'm spending every year on prop firm accounts, and yeah, it helps me understand how much I'm spending. Yeah.
Another good question. This is directed towards me, but I think it's better directed towards you, John. Can we please explain the Prop Firm Match 1 beta program?
Yeah, for sure. So Prop Firm 1 is a trading platform that we built, and it's for Forex currently. So it's a really cool platform. It allows you to trade your Forex challenges directly on PF1. We have journaling, we have trade copying, and we have analytics. So right now it's in beta because we're still trying to stabilize the product, make sure that whatever accounts you connect, they're really stable. And so yeah, that's PF1. It's a trading platform to copy trade, and the main point of it actually is to centralize all your prop firm accounts in one place. So you can connect a challenge from, let's say, Funding Pips, Bright Funded. We have a list of partner firms that we've worked with that let us completely hook into their technology and have it work really well in PF1. But yeah, if you go to propfirm1.com, you can read all about it. You can join the open beta. We're happy to hear from you as well. If you trade Forex, you could give it a try and see if you like it.
And guys, I'm linking Prop Firm 1 in the chat right now,
nice.
So you guys can check it out.
Sweet.
Any takes on potentially setting up Prop Firm 1 on the future side? Is that something that seems like it could be fruitful?
Yeah, so we've had discussions about it. Literally, yeah, one of my main meetings this morning was about prop firm one, where we're trying to assess kind of what direction we want to take prop firm one in. I think futures is very up there. I personally am an advocate for that. I would love to get futures into prop firm one. We just have to kind of dig in and see like how much resources it would take, what's the lift to add futures. And also futures is, we have to dig into it, but you have to sign contracts with the CME. Each trader has to sign a contract. So there are kind of things we need to look into with futures.
Yeah. A little bit more regulation on the future side, right?
Yeah, definitely. So the cost benefit analysis has to be there.
Cool. But yeah, definitely possible, it sounds like, in the future.
Yep.
By the way, guys, we're almost coming up to 9 o'clock. So remember, at 9:30, we're going to have Zach Real Deal Futures on. Super excited for that conversation. And we can run one of our first giveaways too, maybe like right as John's getting ready to get off. So stay tuned. I'll announce a giveaway opportunity in like maybe at 8:55 or so.
Nice.
Yeah. I think a really good Q&A. That was good. It was like kind of an impromptu Q&A, which was super helpful, I think, for the chat.
Definitely. Yeah, so Guru wrote, I'm still unsure if PF1, but if it's new and if a glitch occurs, I might lose. Yeah, so we have a good support team, Guru. So what I would say is, open PF1, maybe open a demo account, just start playing with it so you understand how to use it. And then if you have a prop firm account, just add it and, maybe start off with a very small lot size so you can feel comfortable with trading in it. And if you find that, it's all is going well, you can start using it. And if any issues, definitely we have a really great support team. So it's really easy to access our support. There's a button in the trading platform where you can reach out to our support team.
Yeah. Also, I got I saw a question in the chat about claiming a giveaway. So if support has not gotten back to you, what we realized, guys, is that we've been handling it on X, but some people cannot receive DMs from our team on X. So we're changing up the process just a little bit. I'm going to go to my screen real quick. I'll show you guys how you can actually claim your accounts. And that goes for someone, like if you've been waiting like a day or two and they haven't gotten back to you, it's probably because they cannot DM you for whatever reason. Some people have settings where they can't get DMs. So here, I'll go to my screen. What you're going to do is you're going to DM and reach out to Prop Firm Match Support on X, which is at PFM Support. Okay. Follow them. Make sure you always have them on there and just DM them instead of DMing me. That's kind of what we're going to do now, and send them a timestamp and your YouTube name where you won the giveaway, and then we'll get it handled for you. So anyone that hasn't gotten contacted, just go about doing that. And that's going to be the process now. Drew's asking if I execute on TradingView. So the way I execute, I prefer using Tradeovate and TradingView than Project X. I just like I think the execution is a little bit smoother. I think there's less spread and slippage at times. So yes, you are correct. I do execute on Tradeovate. And the way I have to do it though, because I am copy trading, I have to execute from my Tradeovate account first. So I can have my account linked to TradingView and I can see my position on TradingView, which is great. I prefer that. But when using the copy trader, I do need to execute directly on Tradeovate. There's other ways to be able to execute directly through TradingView if you want, but I just think it's simple enough. So I have these 3 my funded futures accounts I started trading recently. I have my copy trader on here. And I just click on the copy trader and then I could execute. Anything I do will happen on all 3 of these accounts. But I prefer TradingView, Tradeovate. There's no lag. Like if you execute directly on TradingView, there could be maybe like half it. I don't even know, like a quarter of a second of a lag. if you execute directly on the Tradeovate platform, it is instantaneous. There is truly no lag whatsoever. So, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Kurt says you picked the perfect trader for prop firm match YouTube, John. I'm thinking you're talking about me. I'll take the kind words.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, yep, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, so okay, I think we're both feeling a little bit short biased. I know there were some questions about your bias that came in, even though we went through the analysis a little bit. Maybe just before you head off, do you want to kind of let the chat know what you're looking at? I'll put your screen back up, John.
Yeah, for sure. One sec, I lost. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So basically, my bias is more short this morning. Like, I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame here. So, like, this is actually a pretty decent sell coming up. So we're approaching this 4-hour block on NQ, and I would be interested in this area to potentially get down here. And the reason I like that play is because I feel like either ES up here wants to get to this POC, or ES wants to rotate down here. The other things that give me confidence with that idea is that on the 1 hour, we're kind of in this gap here. In this gap. So I do think we want to get down here. This is ES. And then on NQ, if I look at the hourly, yeah, so we're approaching kind of the value area high of this 1 hour block up here, which could act as resistance based on all the other confluence that I'm looking at. So, this could act as resistance. So we could head up a little bit higher, but overall, if I was in the market right now, I'd probably have a short bias in the short term. And we can see here, like, this is a good example. We have 5 minutes left. Let's see if we reject. So, I'd be looking at this chart as my main chart and maybe be on the 1 minute time frame. So, we just had a straight shot up, and we're going to run into very strong resistance up here. So once we get here, I might do like a stop order, and then, if we get a few points to the downside.
I like that. So you'll enter on a stop order as it's going down. So you would place a sell stop, and your confirmation is kind of if you get filled, because it means it's beginning to move in your direction.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on how much confidence I had in this level, like the hourly level on NQ still had a bit of distance to go. So, potentially if I was like, I might be less aggressive right away, and just see if we find a little bit of acceptance and maybe come back out, and then that could be a good back test to then head lower. Because the 1 hour range could be right up here that we might want to get to. So I'll see if if we find acceptance, if we don't, pull back out and then do something like that. That could be an interesting play.
Awesome. Perfect, man. Yeah, I love, I agree. I mean, I'm also feeling more leaning into the shorts a little bit. So I got a similar analysis. Hopefully when the open comes up, we get Zach Real Deal Futures on. We'll get his take, and we'll try and lock in some gains.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, so one last note, this could, so we can see we're pulling back, or looks like we're rejecting. So but again, it's the open or before the open, so I don't mind trading it, but that's why I trade later in the day sometimes, because by the end of the day, I'll know, did my initial theory in the morning work out? And if it didn't, then I have new information to work with.
Yeah, 100%. And then if your initial theory did work out in the open, are you thinking okay, I got a good read?
Yeah, exactly. And if this doesn't play out, then the market is very strong, I would say. If we don't reject from this 4 hour block up here, then the market just wants to continue. It just wants to keep going. But if we do reject, then that could mean that we need a bit of rest before we head higher. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that, man. Because I keep, I don't really trade CFDs anymore, bro. But I did get a FTMO account for fun, and I
Mhm.
passed phase one. But I've been in a swing short on this FTMO account for like 4 days. I just did not get the best entry, but I'm still alive. So I'm just hoping it sells off higher time frame, guys. We're still in drawdown on this.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It could be that we just take a pit stop, or all of a sudden sellers step in out of nowhere and we get this huge drop. We'll see. Yeah.
Perfect, man. All right, that was awesome chat, John. I think you're coming back on Monday,
Monday. Yep.
Tuesday. Cool.
I'll
So
Monday.
yeah, we'll see John back on next week. So great conversation. And yeah, guys, I think we could go ahead and run a giveaway now. So yeah, we'll let you go, John. I know you're busy. Have a great day, man. And hopefully you catch some good trades later in the PM sesh.
For sure. Likewise. Yep.
Thanks, bro.
Awesome.
Later.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
All right, chat. Awesome. John's a man. He really is. So, all right, guys, I think we can run a giveaway now. I need to do a quick bathroom break. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and give away a Top One Futures 25K account. Yeah, John is awesome, man. He really is. It's really cool that I get to chat with one of the co-founders on stream, a few days a week. And it's great for you guys. You get to ask like really in-depth questions and you got the answer. Bathroom break is a must. Yeah, for me, bro, I'm streaming 4 hours a day. We gotta do some bathroom breaks. So, okay. To keep everyone in the chat, we don't want to go anywhere, right? Because we got a giveaway to host. First off, real quick, guys. I see we're at 57 likes. Let's try and get that up to 65. If we can get this up to 65 accounts, I'll give away. If we can get this up to 65 likes, I'll give away 2 accounts in one shot. For now, though, we're going to give away 1. We'll do a Top One Futures Elite account. To enter the giveaway, I want you to type John in the chat as a shout out to John, our co-founder. So type John in the chat. Stay tuned. Don't leave. And I will be right back. Okay, guys, we'll announce the winners when I get back. All right. What's good, chat? We're back. Thank you for holding with me. We got this giveaway. See, we got some more people joined, okay, as we got the giveaway going. All right, we got a ton of entries in here. So, guys, listen, I just want to make sure that I don't miss any entries. So let's actually just even if you've already entered once, do me a favor and enter again, just so that I can make sure I get all the entries, and we'll go until 9:03. So enter one more time, type in John in the chat, even if you've already done it once, and we'll get this going. You have until 9:04. We'll do like 60 seconds. There we go. Let's run it, guys. I'm excited to talk to Zach Real Deal Futures. You know, I've been following him a while. He used to be on Top Step TV a lot, which I also was going on Top Step TV for a little while at the time. So we haven't actually talked much personally, but we have followed each other on socials for a while. We have a lot of mutual friends. I'm actually going to be speaking with him at a seminar in Tampa in like May. I think in the month of May. So I'll make sure to tell you guys more about that if anyone's in that area. But he's going to be a speaker. I'm going to be a speaker. So it'll be cool to finally meet in person too. Okay, we got 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds to enter, guys. Go right ahead. Even if you already did it once while I was gone, just enter one more time so we got your name on here. Okay, cool. That's it for the entries. And we'll get this going. This will be for top one futures, okay? Top one futures. What do we want to do? Pinwheel or duck race? That's the next big question. Pinwheel or duck race? Just getting all these entries in. Just give me a sec, fam. Okay, cool. Boom. Spin, duck race, duck. Okay, we'll start with duck. Also, what did I say? 65 likes, and we'll give away 2. Let's see if we're at 65 likes. Oh, we hit 65. Okay, cool. We'll run 2. We'll do 2 top one futures elite accounts, and then we'll get back to trading. We'll do 1 duck, 1 spin. Okay. Make it fair. 1 duck, 1 spin. We'll do the duck race first. $30 seconds. All right, fam. Let's run it for top one futures account. Let's go. Bam. Who's got it? Who's got it? We got Web3 coming up in the front. Web3. We got Issa Sixay coming up too. Trying to sound like one of those auctioneer people, you know? PJ Young. We got Banu in there. Oh, Top Hat. Top Hat's got it. I'm telling you. Mr. Top Hat. He's got it, bro. Oh, shit. Mr. Crazy. Mr. Crazy, you've won a top one futures elite account. There's more race time, more races. All right, we'll try a different one, Mike. I'm down for that. All right, Crazy, you're the winner. Good YouTube name. So this is what you're going to do, bro. First off, claim your account. What you're going to do first, my friend, is let us know in the chat that you're here. Okay, I see you're in here. Good. So you're in the chat. That's good. What you're going to do is DM PFM support. Okay. So on X at PFM support. So I'll type it in here for you. PFM support on X. You're going to go there. Let me even just type the link to the X channel. See if that goes. Just DM them. All right, guys, instead of DMing me, because it gets a little too confusing, just go right to the source. You're going to DM prop for a match support. Send them like a clip, a timestamp, all of that. And they'll take care of you. All right. What do I think about gold? I'll take a look at gold in a sec. Yeah, I'm super down to take a look at gold. Because gold has been moving, man. It's been ripping lately. All right. I promised one more, though, right? So we'll do one more. Mayank is telling me that there's more options. Okay, race timers. Oh, the emoji race. Okay, let's try the emoji race. Okay, let's just get these names back in here. Wait, is this for premium only? Can I not do this? Let's see. Okay, we got the names in. We'll set for 30 seconds. Okay, we got the emoji race. You guys ready for this one? I'm up for this. This will be fun. And then we'll get back to trading before Zach RDF gets in here. Shivam, you're not in the list? How do you guys know this? You want me? I'll go back. We'll double check. I don't know how you guys see that you're in the list or not. Let's see. Shivam, you're on the list. I'm not going to trust people when they say that anymore. You're on the list right here. All right, 30 seconds. Let's run this and then let's get back to some trading. On 3, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, shit. This is loud. You guys hear the music? I don't even know what to say. Dude, that's way too loud, bro. That is way too loud. Do you guys hear the music on here? Or is it only going through my headphones? I need to know. All right, Deepu Kushwa. Congrats. Deepu. Oh, you can't hear the music? The music is crazy. I got to find a way so you guys can hear the music next time. Kushwa, you're the winner. So, again, to claim your account, please let us know you're here in the chat. And then you're going to DM PFM support, okay? Yeah, that music was annoying, though. Oh, damn, look at that sell-off. Yo, John called that sell-off, guys. Like, he literally called that. It also retested the previous day's value area low perfectly. Nice sell-off. This is funny. I wish you guys heard the music. The music was like bugging me out. But yeah, please let us know you're here in the chat to claim. And again, just DM PFM support. Again, I'll drop the link for you one more time. Congrats, Deepu. Bam. So, okay, we got about 20 minutes or so until Zach from Real Deal Futures gets on. We'll chat with him. Let's get some tunes back up here. Guys, always let me know that you can hear the music and if it's too loud or whatever, you know. All right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do now? Market's selling. John just DMs me, guys. It was like, nice pullback. To say, dude, you called it. Yeah, John called that exact move. All right, so, I mean, here's the thing, guys. We got midnight price coming up. Let me know in the chat if you guys have to pick. You bullish or you bearish? Let me know. Let me know. I want to get your take. Are we bullish or bearish? Oh, the music is a little loud? Okay, thank you for telling me that, Wendy. I will fix that. I don't want it to be too loud. Put it like there. Let me know if that's good. Here's the thing, guys. I think, okay, let's start really analyzing price now before Zach gets on. Great music too loud, just a bit down, please. Is that better, guys? Gary was saying change the music. Let me make it lower. Hold up. I definitely don't want this to be too loud. Here, I'll change it. I'll change the song too. How's that? Too loud or is it good? Let me know. Okay, it's better. Cool. Okay, we're bullish on NQ, bearish on gold, team bear. Yesterday's low is the draw liquidity, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Prop for match says Joseph is looking for longs. Joseph is one of the main guys here at PFM behind the scenes. It's too low now. All right, I got to find the exact spot. Sorry, guys. Thank you. I need to answer these questions so I could find the perfect spot for the music. That might be good. We'll leave it there. But okay, we got Joseph, who is long. And Joseph, who, again, he works at PFM. He's a behind-the-scenes guy. He just recently passed his first futures challenge on Tradeify. I think it was Tradeify, yeah. So he passed in 1 day. So, you know, I wouldn't want to fade him necessarily. He's getting long right here. I actually like the idea for the market to go a little bit higher first, so we can get that midnight retracement, right? So we know roughly 70% of the time the market is going to retrace to that midnight open. So maybe a long up to the midnight open, see the market kind of come back up in here, maybe sweep out some of this liquidity. Maybe we create some type of bearish SMT divergence, and then we could sell it down. Because I do like previous day's low as the draw. I think it's a good draw on liquidity just because this sell-off here, like I'd like to see one continuation leg of this sell-off. So this is kind of like our bear flag. You know, we tapped into that 4-hour fair value gap and we go lower to take out previous day's low. So that's kind of going to be what I'm looking for. I would like to see something like that. But ideally, because I use midnight price as a major way to frame my directional bias, I would like to see it retrace up to midnight and then we look for shorts. Maybe we can get an inversion entry, you know, utilizing the mechanical midnight model after we test the midnight open. Hey, MobFX passed the Tradeify account that you won from here. Sick, dude. Hey, Abby's in the chat. What up? Abby is a student of mine. I'm coaching her right now. Midnight price, Abby, we got it coming in at like 25.86 on NQ. So we got about 10 minutes till Zach gets in here. Let me make sure we get that all squared away. So I think today, because I took the payout on my Tradeify accounts, I think today I'm going to focus on my funded futures. So that's what I'm logged into right now. We got, you know, the other day I made 500 on them on the 3 accounts. So they're up so far. What's cool about my funded futures right now, again, you do have a discount with them as well on prop for a match. It's code match. You get 5% off, which is actually the only place you can get a discount as far as I know, because my funded futures does not do discounts. But what's really cool about this account right now is they have an add-on where you can, instead of a 1K profit cap per payout cycle per account, you can get 3K. So I'm trading 3 accounts. If I can get to a payout, I have a maximum payout per cycle of 9K instead of 1 grand or 3K if I'm copy trading 3. So I thought that was an insane deal, and he still has it going on. My funded futures still has that going on. So again, code match for 5% off. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure we get Zach's link in here so he's ready to go. Who here in the chat is coming to watch Zach Real Deal Futures? Who's part of the RDF community here in the chat? Hey, we got a couple people in here. All right. Hashtag RealDealZach. We got Kim ZE in here. RDF fam. Dwayne, RDS, Rhombus. Okay, cool. Jay says, I'll be waiting to see how things look after the open, but right now feels bearish to me. RDF. Word. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Zach. I think he's been killing it lately. I think he recently got a live account with Top One Futures, right? So I'd love to talk to him about that. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, that's going to be cool. I'd like to know his experience on live accounts. You know what I mean? What he thinks about them, what his take is, if he's enjoying it. Because some people, they go back and forth. You know, some people like having a live account. Other people are like, screw that. I want to stay in sim forever. Like with Tradeify, over the summer, I took like 6 payouts with Tradeify on the same set of accounts, right? And I kept thinking I was going to be getting put to live. They never put me to live. I withdrew at that time. I had already withdrawn like over 32K in like a 2-month period. And they never put me live. And I was thinking like, damn, do you not want me as a live trader? Like what's going on? And then eventually I blew the accounts finally and started back up. And I just took another 10K payout with them. But what's funny is I think like low key, I was kind of happy that I didn't get moved to live because now I could still trade 5 accounts. So I think that'll be interesting to chat with him about, you know? Yeah, bearish until a strong push above VWAP. Okay, cool. Wendy says, looking forward to listening to Zach. Never heard of him. Oh, he's a good trader. He's around. Yeah, it'll be a good convo. Issa says she's looking for longs on the open, but need to see price move lower first. Okay. Should do sentence giveaways today. Oh my God. There's so much drama with these sentence giveaways though. People get mad because they say their internet isn't good enough. I'll think about it. Also, let's actually get here to the opening bell. Hold up. There we go. Yep. So Zach RDF should be on in about 5 minutes or so. All right, guys, this is what we're going to do. Zach RDF is going to be on in 2 minutes. So real quick, stay tuned for Zach RDF. Like the video. I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to do a 2-minute break. And when we come back, we will have Zach Real Deal Futures on the chat with us. Okay, fam? I'll be right back. Yo, what's up, everyone? All right, we got Zach RDF here in the chat. Let's pull him up. Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on? What's going on, other Zach?
Other Zach, yeah, we were saying it's Zach versus Zach today.
That's it, man. That's it. Team Zach, right? Working together,
Team
getting
Zach,
it done.
Team Zach.
Appreciate you guys having me on for sure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Excited for this one. So, how have you been doing, man? I know we kind of chat a little bit, but I don't think we've ever actually talked one-on-one much.
No, man. We were. I think we were supposed to do that trading battle a while back. It was going to be another Zach versus Zach on that one. Yeah, man. But no, been good, man. Working away on the prop firm stuff. I was listening to the stream before I hopped on, and I did get kicked to a Top One Futures live account. It's been pretty cool, interesting to talk about. It's my first prop firm live account out of trading from the beginning, so it's been an interesting experience for sure. It's a hot topic, like you were saying before I hopped on, man. You know, you shared, you were getting close to it in Tradeify. It's interesting first because, like, they don't always move people, when they, like, right around that qualifier. Sometimes they kick guys early, sometimes they don't take them after like multiple payouts from the same account. So I think, it's kind of discretionary, which is interesting. You try to set yourself up the best you can for it, but overall, my experience so far in the account that I got put into is pretty solid, man. I'm not super duper aggressive with my trading. First off, I'm not the best trader in the world, but I'm not super duper aggressive with my trading, but it's been cool to be able to take like daily payouts, not have to worry about a consistency rule. You definitely lose leverage. You get limited on contract size. There's no reset button, so that the stakes are kind of higher in that regard, and you don't want to run through live accounts. Otherwise, that could be an issue. But it's been good, man. I've been loving it so far.
That's awesome, man. I think I've seen you've taken a few daily payouts already, right?
Yeah. I got nothing crazy, all small base hits, but I got put in. This is my third week trading it, and I took 5 payouts from it so far. So
awesome,
dude, it's cool to be on like your third payout, on the third day of the week from the same account. Like, I've yet to say that. So no, it's been cool, man. I tried to set it as a goal and trade slowly in one account, build a buffer, kind of incentivize them to kick me. And again, nothing crazy before that. Really nothing to write home about, like payout wise, what I've taken from it so far. But I try to set these small goals for myself, get funded, get max funded, take a payout, take a couple payouts, and then okay, let me try to like slow down, work myself towards a live account, and then try to hold on to that for a little bit, right? And then there's always that kind of scale up from there, get to the 4-figure, 5-figure, crazy 6-figure stuff, down the road.
100%, man. So yeah, actually, I'd love to get into just a little bit of your story. I mean, hopefully we can find some live trades, but like,
sure.
How long have you been trading? Because I feel like I started seeing you pop up a lot, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago on Top Step TV. I'm thinking you came from Forex first, like a lot of us did, and then moved over to futures. So yeah, maybe just a little bit about like how you got into trading, and then why do you like futures over Forex? I'm assuming you like futures more.
For sure, man. You pretty much got the whole thing. I try to put my finger on like how long I've been in the markets, because everybody's got their introduction before they're actually trading, right? Like, so I think it's around the 6-year mark, like actually in the markets, actively trading, really focused on intraday, technical analysis. I'm going to say closer to the 3 to 4 year mark, because I really write off those first couple. Okay, you bought Apple, it goes up, all of a sudden you're all jacked up, now you're a trader, that type of deal. But so I when I got serious, I really started focusing on trading. It was just at the tail end of my stint in crypto, which was nothing but losing money for me personally.
Same here.
Yeah. And no, it was Forex for me. Got serious with Forex. Trading live accounts, which I shouldn't have been doing in US, brokerages, losing money. And about the time that I started to gain some consistency there, a few years in, I learned about prop firms and I started trading Forex prop firms. And this was back before the whole meltdown, the MFF and that whole deal. So I came to trading futures. Let me try to get this right. I came to trading futures at the beginning of 2024, so the beginning of last year, and that's right around the same time that I first started putting out content. Started sharing some stuff. I think February of 2024. Try to get my years right. Yeah, man, and that was cool. Again, kind of set the goals. I had been burned from Forex accounts, in the middle of trading them. And I was like, all right, let me try to get funded with Top Step, right? Kind of heard about them, the big firm, and that was my goal for a while. The transition was cool. You asked, why I like futures over Forex. Obviously, first off, just legitimacy of the space, right? Well regulated. The firms are all much more reliable, at least in my humble opinion, from what I've seen. You've got a lot to choose from. But specifically what was cool is that you have reliable volume data. So it's all centralized exchange. The broker's not making the price, and you can actually use volume tools. You could use order flow. So, that stuff was all really cool. But yeah, that was kind of the progression. Trading, props really all the way through 2024. Took me a while to transition. I came in, I think, overconfident. I had, started to do well in Forex, and I was like, this is going to be easy. I could trade, right on NQ instead of NAS 100. And it was a little bit different, man. A little bit different working with, different drawdowns, different rules with prop firms. Starting to face some tilt that maybe was different from the Forex days where we weren't so aggressive on low time frames. But yeah, man. So no, that was cool. I ended up getting funded, started taking payouts, kind of that slow, scale up, got max funded. And then it was, multiple payouts. And towards the beginning of this year, it was more consistent payouts. So kind of just trailing that forward. And then the goal this year, or, end of this year now, was a live account towards the end of this year. So I've hit that, which is cool. And I've also been trading a personal live account, personal brokerage account, which is pretty fun. And then I've maintained the investment brokerage stonk stuff on the back end, which has been easy this year. Everybody feels like a genius, when the market's just ripping. You're like, why do I even bother with futures? But that of course turns and you realize why. But yeah, man, that's kind of been the intro. Yeah, the story.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we actually have a pretty similar. We have similarities with our story. I've also been trading maybe 5 years now, just at the 5-year mark. Started with crypto, then got into Forex prop firms. And honestly, thank God for prop firms, just for the fact that I was trading for a year trying to day trade crypto. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what risk management was. I didn't even think about in the terms of risking X amount of percent per account. I really had no clue what I was doing for a year straight. So same way with the way you look at it, maybe I've really been trading for 4 years, because that first year was nothing. But thank God for Forex prop firms. They taught me how to begin at least just looking at how to manage risk and just the concept of an R multiple or win rates, all of these things, getting my technical analysis better. And then I came into futures because of my Forex funds situation. I managed to get a couple of payouts from FX firms.
Dude, that's the exact same. The my Forex funds was the final straw for me. I didn't actually get. I had to go back and look because I wanted to quote this accurately because I talk about it sometimes. Not to cut you off, but it's funny, dude. It's the same thing. I was in the middle of, I think it was a 300K challenge, and it was they were big money, dude. They were $1,200 or something. Yeah. And I was right about to pass phase 1. It was 16,000 in profit, some whatever thing, trading well. I had screenshots. And I remember I'm sitting on my couch and I go to the site or I go to log in. It's not working. And then it's just that ominous message, we're being investigated by the CFTC for fraud. And I was like, dude, thankfully, I came to, trading, not to sound like I've got it all figured out, but I came to trading, working a decent job, working a career. I had money at that point, so it wasn't the end of the world there. But I was like, man, the time spent on all of this, what am I doing just to have it be ripped? And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm either done with props or I'm going to figure something else out. So I continued with Forex for a while. It was just back to the live account stuff. But I wanted to, leverage other people's money. Like you said, I wanted to limit downside risk. I wanted to continue to learn, right? Because, while I was gaining some consistency, I definitely didn't have any business trading the size live accounts that I was trading, just way too much risk. So, but yeah, that was the intro into all right, let me figure something out, the end of that year. Cause I think that was August of 2023 or something like that, September of 2023, when that all melted down.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Same exact time for me. And especially with the Forex firms, bro, 300K account, it's a big buy-in purchase. Yeah. And that takes time, bro. To pass those 2-phase challenges. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe if you're really trying to over risk, you can pass it in 2 days theoretically, but it's a lot harder than passing like a futures prop firm challenge, a one step. It's just so much harder. Like there's a lot more commitment that goes into those 2-step challenges, right? So to have it like ripped away when you probably spent a couple of weeks minimum is like, I could see that being the last straw. I got lucky because I literally got paid from them, I think 2 days before they went down.
Oh, no way.
I got my last ever payout.
No way.
Yes, swear to God, bro. Which also shows that they were not ready for that. I think they got blindsided by the FTC action as well.
Yeah, we could speculate on it. I was really pissed at the time, and I was just like, it's on them, I was all mad. But honestly, it did seem like they took a big arrow for the space, and who knows what really went down. It seemed they're posting stuff, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get my $1,100 or $1,200 back, whatever it was, But it was that was kind of the end of it for me. I had been burned on some other stuff. I think it was like Cortana, whatever it was. They started to get these.
Heard of that one?
Yeah, dude, it was the instant pass using a bot and all this type of stuff. But I was just like, God. This is too much for me. But the future stuff has been really awesome, man. The prop firm stuff, it's super low risk when you look at the price of the account. Like I was blown away. Honestly, I was like, what? When I came over, I was like, what was I doing? Like, why? You're a product of kind of the people you watch and the things that you're. But I was like, dude, the most expensive challenges are 1/10 of the price, of like what we're looking at for the Forex side. So, no, it was cool. It was cool. Definitely different dynamic, different rules. You don't deal with the trailing drawdown stuff, but easier pass. Quicker profit targets and. Again, just a whole, I think if you're, especially as a US-based trader, I'm sure we got people from all over the world. I see the chat going crazy. What's up, chat? I got a bunch of people from my community in here. Team RDF, what's going on?
Let's go.
But no, I think if you're an intraday trader, as a US-based trader, I think whether it's just, they want us on futures or whatever it is, it's the most ideal situation, whether you're going to trade props or live accounts, in my personal opinion. Maybe if you're swing trading, if you really want that exposure to to currency pairs, Forex is going to be a good option. But dude, like next to no spreads, right? Next to no slippage, next to no fees when you look at what we used to pay for like swaps and all that, paying a spread. It was crazy when I came over and I was like, this can't be real. Like, this is how it is over here? So it was cool, man. It was cool. And I've enjoyed it so far. I have. Yeah,
that was actually one of the biggest things for me switching to futures was experiencing having like little to no slippage and spread. Like I did not realize that if you don't have excessive spread and slippage, the P&L that you might have over the span of, let's say, 100 trades or 1,000 trades, if you take the exact same positions on a Forex broker on NAS 100, let's just say, and then you also take those same exact trades on the NQ, on the futures contract, you will have so much more profit on the NQ futures because those commission, spread, and slippage add up over the span of 1,000 trades to the point that it could be your make or break of being profitable or not even.
Big
so
time.
that was a big thing I noticed. I was just like, wow, like the execution is so smooth. And they have better platforms like MT5. I feel a bit of nostalgia for it. Like I miss the swoop, all those nice sounds, but like, dude, the platforms are just so much more advanced, so much more professional on the future side. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. And I mean, market has opened, so I don't know if if you see anything you like trade wise, you can feel free to get your screen up, Zach. And I'd love to know like kind of what is your style? Because I know you use volume profile, right?
Yeah, I do.
I'm a big volume profile guy as well. I trade ICT with volume profile. I think you do more VWAP. So that might be interesting. We could talk about that. And yeah, if you're seeing anything, feel free to get your screen up. We'll pull it up.
For sure. I'm setting mine up. I realized I didn't share. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. So I'm actually back on YM these days. And it's funny. It kind of yeah, man. It comes from originally trading US 30 in the CFD, Forex prop firm space, to be honest. That was the in. I was really heavily focused on ES for a long period of time, and I still am. I just looking through data this year in a couple of the accounts that I was trading, I was just really underperforming. And, you know, I started to change some stuff up. I had been testing YM in some personal live accounts and really overperforming. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, I want to trade the popular stuff. I want to trade what everybody else is trading. But at the same time, like, I got to trust my data. And if, you know, I'm making money on YM, you know, it's really coming out well as far as win rate and risk to reward looks like. I'm going to trade the black sheep. Like, let me go ahead and send it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, man, this is the Top One Futures live account. So it's a 15K. It's a pre-live account technically. They kick everybody to what they're calling a pre-live account, which is all the benefits, except they're not sending your orders to market.
It's like a test run in a way.
Yeah. From a trader perspective, when I first heard it, I was like, what do we got going on there with a pre-live? Why not just a live? They explained like a lot of guys that get moved live blow the account, whether intentionally or unintentionally, without ever taking a payout. It was like such a high percent. So they're like, you know what? We're going to take on technically more risk because we're going to pay you out with all of the same benefits. And then when we feel that, you know, we want to put money behind your trading, we're going to swap that over to a live account, put money behind your trading. So, I mean, to me, I don't care. It's, you know, honestly, almost a little bit more beneficial from the trader perspective because you get sim fills. You know, not that I noticed too much of a difference, but you know, that's the process. But yeah, man, trading YM, honestly, off the open.
One other question on the pre-live. So you said it's a 15K. Do you have, what's your max loss limit look like if you don't mind sharing?
For sure. So I think they let you run it down to 60% of the balance of the initial starting balance.
Okay.
Before, I think it's before a review. I don't know if they immediately stop you out. But on this one specifically, got a $3,000 daily loss limit. I'm not going to take on that much risk.
Which is
in
solid.
Day.
3K DLL is solid.
That's wide. That's wide for sure. Again, it is discretionary to them. So when I talk about this stuff, like it's really clear cut with all firms when it comes to, you know, the sim environment, or the path, the rules, all of it. Once it gets to the live, it's a dedicated risk manager that looks at your trading specifically and says, hey, here's what we're going to do for you. I will say it's pretty tight on contract sizing. I'm limited to one mini. I think some guys get a wider starting point, but you know, that's how I was set up. Not really a big deal for me because I'm usually only trading one mini, you know, off the open until maybe I start to scale something up.
Sure.
But yeah, that's been pretty sweet. And so again, for this one, their parameters are no profit target, no consistency, daily payouts every 24 hours. You could take up to 24 hours. Uncapped, you know, you can run it up if you want to. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool to mess with so far.
Amazing. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So what are you looking at? And yeah, I'd love to see like how you use volume profile.
Yeah, man. So I run a pretty basic chart. I know this might look a little bit crazy, but this is pretty much just 3 indicators. It's all volume tools. It's 3 real indicators.
Project X have volume profile now? I didn't realize that.
This is fixed range volume profile.
Yeah.
So so they do have visible range volume profile. This is an indicator. VWAP standard settings. This is an indicator. If anybody has questions on the chart settings, any of that stuff, I'm happy to talk about it. Volume down here, traditional, and then I'm using, like, they don't have session volume profile HD or session volume profile, like, so I'm physically just grabbing a drawing tool, fixed range volume profile over here on the left hand side, and then I'm just dragging it out. And that gives me.
Is that new? I didn't know that Project X had that.
No, they've had this one, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had this one.
Awesome.
I didn't know because, again, they don't have any like volume profile indicator. They have visible range volume profile. I shouldn't say that. They have visible range volume profile and a couple others, but they don't have the one that will print based on time, right? Like TradingView has multiple. And for TradingView, I use, let me see what this one is.
Yeah, I use the session volume profile to mark my like previous days profiles up.
Yep, exactly, man. So that's essentially what I'm doing with this. It's just the drawing tool. I think I'm pretty much standard settings except for the inputs. I just run this up a little bit higher, just kind of give you a more granular size. But yeah, super basic for me on YM. Off the open, YM oftentimes pulls these really crazy impulsive moves. Like, we started to get a pop. This isn't as dramatic as we pull sometimes. We really didn't get anything too crazy yesterday. But off the open, I'm looking for a wick in one direction. hopefully against the overall trend, the higher time frame trend, the bias for the day that I'd like to trade. And I'm going to enter really aggressively counter to whatever that initial drive up is. I'm going to fade it and look for a reversion back to an area of high volume. VWAP, maybe. I use visible range volume profile, really zoomed out on the 15-minute. I honestly trade YM almost exclusively from the 15-minute chart. And okay. I'll use prior day volume profile or profiles, because I like to have a bunch of them on there, paying attention to point of control, value area high, value area low. So something like today, what I was eyeballing before I hopped on, if we do this, it's not really with the higher time frame trend that I'd like to be trading, which is really bullish in this market, and I've gotten cooked on shorts. But the thesis on something like this today would be a crack right to the upside, kind of what we're doing here off the open. Look to fade this with a nice wide stop right back down to an area of high volume, maybe a little bit more of a continuation to the downside. Again, I've paid attention to it. I've traded it this way for a while. It almost feels too dumb to simplify it this much, but it works well for me. It works really well for me, man. If I go too long off the open, I really don't get that first setup. I'm cautious of trying to fade, the trend that develops for the day, the big daily candle that's printing, and I might look for more of a continuation, because I've been caught doing that. But I might try to look for more of a continuation, just kind of a more standard break and retest, of one of these areas of high volume. I pay attention to price action, market structure, and volume tools. Only other thing I run on the side is Bookmap. I do use some order flow. Okay. I was heavier focused on it with ES, honestly. The YM book is very different. The DOM is just a lot thinner. The way that it moves, I don't know that it helps me out as much as it helps me out on ES, but that's it. That's it.
So
man.
ES has a lot more trading activity then, like significantly more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see significantly more orders on the book. You see the cumulative volume delta, the volume tools on Bookmap move a lot more throughout the session. And YM, you just don't get as many standout levels. At least for me, when I compare the two.
Yeah, see, so I'm not much of a Bookmap guy. I can give you a little rundown on what I'm looking at too. I'll put my,
let me know.
Charts up. But could you make the argument with Bookmap if there's less volume, that if you see, like, again, I don't know anything about Bookmap, but if you see like a block of big orders on a market that is thinner, could that be more useful? Do you know what I'm saying? Because that thinner market could be affected at a higher rate.
Yeah. I'll preface it with this, right? I'm definitely not the market narrative expert. I use all of my tools like an idiot. I really do, because I find that that's what, I'm honest about it. Like, that's what works best for me. Very technical, like focused on pattern recognition. And it's more of a, if I see this and I've watched it for months and months and months, maybe slightly more often than that, this happens, right? So for me on ES, and I won't drift too long, but for me on ES, how I'm using Bookmap, really two ways. I'm looking for big blocks of orders, right? And you could do this on the DOM. You don't have to use Bookmap. You can use whatever you want. I'm partnered and affiliated with Bookmap. I always like to be transparent about it. I was using it before I was, but helps me because I'm an idiot. Anyway, big blocks of orders above or below price. They traditionally can act like key levels, like areas of interest, like support and resistance, supply and demand. It's uncommon if we've got a couple hundred lots on the book and there's nothing else in between that and nothing else above it, that if we get to that level, that nothing happens, right? Oftentimes it's sellers stepping in. We get a reversion off that level. It's defended. Maybe buyers are really strong. They go up and grab that. It acts like fuel to the fire and rips right through it. So it was more of, for me on ES, it's more of, well, what am I paying attention to? What areas of interest do I have on my chart? And then I don't want to be unaware if we have hundreds or thousands of lots on the book stacked up at this level that I kind of wasn't paying attention to. Maybe it helps me out with trade management, right? I got a stop loss and I'm like, wait a minute, five points past my stop loss. We've got 1,000 on the book. We're headed towards that aggressively. Like, maybe I want to get out ahead of time. Maybe I want to widen out, stop, that type of deal. And then cumulative volume delta, just watching that throughout the day. It's just a volume tool showing buy and sell volume difference. As price is ripping to the upside, are we creating a really, really positive cumulative volume delta, plus 10,000, plus 15,000, or are sellers kind of outweighing buyers and we're staying kind of flat? You can maybe get a little bit more of an indication of what may happen on the volume side. But again, you can get that not on Bookmap. You can use traditional volume tools for that type of stuff as well.
Yeah, so we had a Trader Drysdale on yesterday, and he uses Delta a lot. So I've never looked too deep into Delta, but the way he explained it, he finally showed me like, okay, this is how you can read it in a way where it'll be useful to you. And it looked really helpful. I was like, okay, I get why people love Delta, and you could also recognize like the divergences between the price action and the Delta. I love trying to spot divergences. Like my favorite kind are pure price action divergences between two correlated assets. So like the NQ and the ES. I'm always looking for if NQ makes a lower high while ES made a higher high, and I'm looking for a bearish reaction, that helps me as a bearish, we call it SMT divergence in ICT land. So that's a big thing for me. And I also use volume profile. So I'm like ICT foundationally based with volume profile to just help me create a narrative and give context on how the market is moving in relation to the previous day's value areas. So I have a lot of simple things that I look at, like if the market is trading below the previous day's point of control and the previous day's point of control has already been engaged for the day, I can most of the time have an easier time shorting as long as we stay below the previous day's point of control than if I was trying to fade that and go long. Again, these are just, nothing's black and white, but these are like general rules of thumb that kind of help me stay on the right side of the market and with trend using lines in the sand. But yeah, so I actually had a similar view on what you did, Zach, like looking for maybe a pull up and then continue lower to initially I was thinking we could like maybe get some more continuation on this down move from yesterday because it was a pretty significant move. I know higher time frame we're just like ultra bullish, but I did think that there was some nice displacements here, and we have this 4-hour fair value gap that I got marked off. So we got a nice initial reaction on the hourly here, but it doesn't look like it's holding for now. I mean, we won't know for sure until we get a closure above 25,180. But I feel a bit conflicted now on the bias because, I just mentioned when we're below the previous day's point of control, we have an easier time looking for shorts unless the previous day's point of control has not been touched yet. So do you know about that? Like I call it my 80% setup. Roughly 80% of the time, the market will engage that previous day's point of control. So if we open below, like we did in this case, we can use it as a magnet for price.
Yeah, I pay a lot of attention to that, just again in the simple way, like if we haven't tested that prior day volume point of control, it's an untested volume point of control. Oftentimes, you could just see this through back testing, through reviewing after the day. We don't leave that bad boy alone. We just don't not go and touch it. What happens after that, right? It's kind of out for debate. So that's something I'm watching on YM as well. But you started off with something that I'm trying to pay more attention to. And, it's this thing I go back and forth with, which is creating too much of a bias before we even open up. And in the past, I used to do it and it would hurt me. I'd be like super bullish and I'd be buying all day. And I go back and I'm like, dude, we were knifing down. Why? Like what, Yeah. Just because in pre-market, you framed this out. And then, but I will say, I think I've become almost a little bit too unbiased, and I'm starting to frame my trading day in a similar way. Where are we at relative to yesterday's volume profile, right? Yesterday's candle. Yes. Today, for example, on YM, we settled down at the low. We opened up below value area low. We did sweep prior day's low in the overnight session, but overall that's showing some weakness, right? After a nice move to the downside below the prior day's low, right? So it is tough in this market. Like I said before, tough to look for shorts because we're just so damn bullish overall, man. The market just has not let up, and it's tough to be a bear in this market for sure.
This market is designed to go up, right? Like,
dude, it is just, you get these days, right? You get these nice rejections, these nice reactions. And I'm not looking for anything that's going to, hold all day, but my area of interest on something like this, just to mark kind of another discretionary level, I would consider it below prior day's volume point of control, but right up into this area of high volume, temporary volume point of control, looking at visible range volume profile, super zoomed out. multiple volume points of control here. Key levels, a daily close. We got pretty close on a pop up there. And for me, again, I run pretty wide stops on something like this, so sometimes a couple 100 points. And I really wouldn't wait for a rejection, some price action, really much to happen up here outside that we tap it and we don't just rip through. If I give myself a couple split seconds to not get my face ripped off. But we didn't quite get there. Close, but not quite there. So we'll see. If the move just, if we run right back down to VWAP, right back down to this, consolidation from Asia, London, that's kind of my pre-market move playing out, my opening move playing out, but not just yet. So we'll see. I think, if this is all YM needs to do is sweep the low here, build a base, and start pushing the upside, we could run into that just little break and retest. Maybe we tap the top end of this market structure and continue, and we do drive up to this point of control. We really start to form a big bullish candle on this. But I wouldn't mind the short. Around the 950s, 925s to 950s, somewhere, around these volume points of controls from prior days. I would have run a stop loss outside of this for sure. I would definitely allow it to come up there and dance around up here, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Still early in the session.
So yeah, I know you said your stops are usually around 100 points. So you go for wider stops. Do you have like a average R multiple that you look for your trades? Do you focus on R multiple? I know a lot of people have been saying like, I don't care about that anymore. I'm kind of that mindset too now. So yeah, just interested in like what your average trade looks like.
Yeah, so I'll run these pretty wide. I try to keep myself from a risk perspective on this account and with the trades that I'm putting on about $1,000. If I'm over $1,000 on one trade, I'm probably in too heavy. I'm doing something too wrong. Stop is too wide. So that gives me a lot of room with one mini. And what I've started to do is be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more discretionary, where I might start with a really nice wide stop. And you're putting that risk on. That's where your stop is. If we get a Trump tweet and it rips, like, you're taking that, right? But I might not want to really allow price to get that far. I just want to see if we have a big wick that forms, let the thing dance around for a minute. But as far as our multiple goes, I don't run a fixed TP. I close based on hitting a level, maybe a little bit of price action, market structure, and volume. And I'm not super hyper focused on a fixed risk to reward. I think you've got to be careful if you trade this way, because you can end up with a really high win rate and a really negative risk to reward. And a couple full losses can really just eat up your nice couple weeks of trading. But as a whole, I think the markets are pretty dynamic. And as you advance as a trader, applying some discretion to your trading when it comes to trade management, if you have the discipline to do that, I think it's an advantage. Starting from scratch, I would be fixed risk to reward, put the trade on, don't touch it. I think we don't really get smarter once the trade is on, once the P&L starts flashing. It's difficult to do. And the more inputs, I allow myself on trade management, the less consistency I'm applying, the harder it is to track, right? So what I'm talking about doing here, right? Maybe we come up here, I throw a trade on just for example. I don't know that we're going to get it since we're already rejecting. Maybe I started with a real wide stop loss, 200 points, $1,000, no fixed risk to reward, no fixed stop loss. I mean, no fixed take profit. If I on day one, right, I'm applying my discretion. We push to the upside and come back down, retest, and then come all the way back up. And I go, you know what? Trade's not working out. We're not selling off. I close this bad boy for half an hour, right, before we hit a stop loss. On Monday, I might be right. I mean, we might just rip to the upside. On Tuesday, I got to accept the fact that I might pull the same move and we turn from right here, and it's just a lot of whatever has to happen, and the market's gonna trade to the downside. So I think it's a balance, man. A lot of traders will say everything in between your stop loss and take profit is noise. Once you put the trade on, just let the thing go. I think you can apply some discretion to this, but it's definitely a balance between too much discretion and a lack of consistency, and just a fixed risk to reward, fixed take profit, fixed stop loss, and like not really listening to the market in front of you.
Yeah, there's a delicate dance, right? I'm pretty similar. So what it sounds like is you use a hard stop, because you always need to have a hard stop in place for safety of the accounts, obviously. But you have a soft stop in mind, and it also depends. This is where discretion can come into play. Like, there might be a certain scenario where, let's say your stop is 100 points, market goes 50 points against you, and you close the trade for half an hour, like you just said, right? But there might be another scenario, a different day, where you actually let it run to the full 100-point stop loss, and it's dependent on the nuance. Like you said, the market is very fluid, and this is a delicate dance, because you're absolutely right. Like, some people feel like they want to, automate the process as much as possible because they don't trust their thought process once they're in a trade. And I get that, but I think that's where experience comes into play. If you've been trading for enough years, you feel like you have a better grasp on the market, you can handle those things. And I do the same thing. So I used to trade a very low win rate, high risk reward strategy. I was a guy looking for 4 or 5R on all my trades. I had a win rate, I mean, no joke, at times it was like 18%, but I was profitable. Like I had my first truly profitable year with prop firms last year. And I did it with this type of system, like high risk reward, low win rate. And the thing about it is that the math can work. Technically, the math can work, right? If your average R multiple is 4, you can be profitable with a 25, 30% win rate. Absolutely. But when you put futures prop firms specifically in the mix, you have a trailing drawdown, sometimes an intraday trailing drawdown. You have tight restrictions. These futures prop firms do not reward a volatile equity curve. They seem to reward a more stable upside equity curve. So this year, like I said, I had my first profitable year last year, but this year I have already over doubled my payouts from last year, and I have switched to 1-to-1s, even a negative R multiple. So sometimes I'm going for 0.5 R if it makes sense on the trade, and I think it's high probability, right? And I think there's a lot of discretion that comes into play, where I do the exact same thing, bro. Like, I have a 100-point stop loss. Sometimes I let it go there, depending on the situation. Other times I don't. Other times I go, you know what? I don't like the way the price action is developing. I'm going to cut this early here, look for another re-entry, or maybe even flip the bias. But I do think that comes with time. Like, I was talking about this. I was on the Behind the Charts podcast a couple weeks ago. Shout out those guys, Randy, Thomas, and Christine. You've been on there, right?
Yeah. It's a solid one. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out those guys. But we were talking about this, and I would say that I don't know if I would recommend a negative risk reward or a discretionary model in that sense to like someone in year 1 or 2 of trading, if they haven't taken payouts. And you kind of just touched on that. Like, maybe you need to have some set rules. You need to learn how to just have discipline. And like, if I'm in a trade, I have an idea, a thesis, let me see it through. And as you get used to it, and you just need chart time, right? You watch the candles print enough, you can start to add that nuance to help you, especially with prop firms. I think there's a lot of benefits to trading a more base hit style when it comes to prop firms, especially.
Yeah. It's a balance, man, and I'd agree across the board. I think, a lot of traders that watch are just starting out. It's just guys that are early in, and if you are early in, I do think more rules, more mechanical. When it comes to trade management, taking more of yourself out of the equation, just because you don't have the discretion, you don't have the intuition, you don't have the time on the charts, the experience in general to manage it well. And you don't have the discipline with money on the line you haven't faced all those demons yet. So just in the interest of collecting data and applying consistency and saying, hey, this is working if I can follow it to a degree, or hey, this isn't working and let me change it in this way, being more fixed with it is important. But yeah, as you go on, man, I think I apply a lot of discretion to my trading. It was a big turning point for me. I was always hunting for this 100% mechanical rules-based system with,
everyone wants it.
Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. Listen, brother, if anybody out there finds it, you hit me up, man, because we'll kick back on the beach together and we'll let the bots run. But
print that money.
That's it. But it ain't out there, right? So, it comes down to our inputs, right? Our experience and us applying that discretion, the implicit memory for whatever tools that we're using, the pattern recognition. And within, to a degree, you can apply that to trade management. But, and I think the model fits much better with prop firms to not run a wildly low win rate, wildly high risk to reward. I also think in general, that's kind of what we are taught as traders off the beginning. You got to make 2 to 3 times what you risk on every trade in order to be profitable. But nobody tells you. I did a whole big spiel on this in Tampa at the in-person event. I talk about it on my live streams every day. Nobody tells you we're all up against the same challenge, right? It's increasing past that natural break-even win rate. So if you're starting with a 1-to-1, you're right at that 50-50, right? Of course, there's spreads, fees, commissions, swaps here for your in Forex. The market does trend, but in 100% random market conditions, you're up against that 50-50. Just putting your risk to reward at 3-to-1 doesn't give you any inherent edge in the market. You will just end break even in 100% random market conditions over a long enough period of time at your natural break-even win rate, right? So, there's, I don't want to oversimplify this example because I've talked about it a lot. There's differences when it comes to expectancy and that calculation and what negative risk to reward means versus positive risk to reward means. But in general, if you kind of free yourself from that, you can go, wait a minute, I've got something in the market that I can identify that gives me around a 1-to-1. I have a clean way to structure risk, and I believe this will play out ever so slightly more in my favor than against me. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. Have at it, do your thing. And then even past that is I put my trades on. I have a stop in mind where we get the Trump tweet, or, I want to allow this thing. This is the hard invalidation point. And I don't have a fixed take profit because I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to watch the market generated information and then make decisions based on that. That is, I think, really the more advanced part, but where you can really start to capitalize on letting your winners run, cutting your losers short. But again, it's a double-edged sword. It does not come without the challenge, right? And I had it this week, for example. I've been like all green in this account, man, except for Tuesday of this week. I took a full L, and I got short in here. On this drive. It was funny because NQ and ES really did not blast off. Got short in here somewhere above prior day high. I was looking at, I think, volume point of control over here, a nice little key level from way back beginning of this month. And I let this bad boy go against me for all the way to the full stop. Looking back on it, it's always easy to say, well, what were you doing? We came back here and retested VWAP. We formed really aggressive candles. I survived this gnarly wick to the upside. If I try to justify it, I survived this. We started to pull back down. Volume looked pretty good as we came back lower. Bookmap looked pretty good, but it came all the way against me. So, you do have to think about the double-edged sword at that. If you're going to allow some to come all the way against you, if you're going to clip winners, when it makes sense, maybe less than that 1R. Overall, you have to generate a win rate and risk reward combo that provides a positive expectancy. You got to have an EV, and that just comes with tracking your data, tracking your results, and adjusting, right? And if I find myself, hey, I'm clipping every winner too early, which I find a lot. I'm clipping winners too early, and I can grab another 20, 50, 100 points out of almost every one of these. I got to hold on to them, right? If I'm showing, hey, man, once trades get halfway to your stop, almost everyone is hitting the full thing. Maybe it's adjusting. It's as simple as that. This, as I'm watching the market move, not to just completely transition, but this was the move. This was my my initial move right back to VWAP. Just not a deep enough push to the upside. We did get that drive. This is kind of what I try to exploit off the open here. Again, if I was marking a level, which I don't really do, I run pretty raw charts here outside of volume profiles. This is right in here, man. Tapping volume point of control here, volume point of control here. This daily close, nice temporary volume point of control, nice high area of high volume. That would have been, right into this area. That'd be an entry for me. So, this is a 15-minute chart. It looks close, but we're talking maybe 30, 40 points. And then, if I'm managing something like this, it's right back down towards VWAP. Maybe there's 200 points on the table for something like this. So nothing crazy, not shooting for a home run.
You don't need to see it make a new low a day. You just take your move, kind of base hit, get out a little bit of, and it's a bit of a mean reversion play.
Yep. Yep. I will note one other thing, because I've talked about it in the past, talked about it with my community. I'll run some pre-market trades on YM. I'll wake up nice and early in the morning, and if I run something with a limit order, I really don't have a chance to manage it. It just is going to run into the open. So I'll run something maybe like a limit up here if I identified a really clean level. Maybe I say, hey, I want long below, Asia London low for whatever reason. There's a really nice risk structure. It's with the trend. So I will do things like that to try to catch, and then it is a little bit more of that set it and forget it. But just worth noting for YM.
No, yeah, well said. So I'm going to pull up my chart because I am seeing maybe a potential setup can begin to formulate. And also, I just wanted to touch on the high risk reward. I totally agree with that, and you're right that like intuitively, it makes all the sense in the world. When someone says, "Would you rather risk 100 to make 100, or would you rather risk 100 to make 500?" They go, "Oh, easy. This is like so simple. Obviously, I'd rather risk 100 than to make 500." But it's, intuitively that makes sense if you don't really know trading that well. But like you said, you have to actually have a win rate that'll make that a positive P&L for you. So yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But guys, so what I'm seeing, I kind of still like the shorts. So at the end of the day, we had that sell off. We're still inside this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. We also retraced up to the midnight open, which is, you guys have been watching me stream. This is a major key level for me. And we might be getting ready to have my mechanical midnight model come into play. So I do have, it's hard. I like to call it a mechanical trading model because there are a couple of clear rules to enter and exit and to give you a directional bias. But I always say, just like what we talked about, I don't actually believe in a purely mechanical trading model. But this is a particular model that does have some clear rules that can help you. That's all. Just want to add that context. So what it is Zach, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the midnight open price, but it's an ICT concept. We use this price to basically give us a simple gauge on whether the market is in a premium or a discount of the daily range. So if we're below the midnight open, like we were here, you can see that the market is in a discount of the daily range. If we're trading above it, the market may technically be in a premium of the daily range. Now, this concept comes actually off of data. So there is real data. Shout out Edgeful. They've helped me formulate this. But roughly 70% of the time for the last 10 years. So there's a large time span. Obviously, there are points in those 10 years where this is happening more often than others. But overall, for the last 10 years, the market retraces to that midnight open roughly 70% of the time in the New York session. So that's kind of where the idea comes. So we have two ways to trade it. We could either trade towards the midnight open if it has not been engaged post 9 a.m. So from 9:01 a.m., if it was not tapped, we could look to trade towards midnight. What makes this helpful is that it can help give you a directional bias just based off that one level alone. Obviously, if you can add context and other confluences, that's how you make this, a higher probability model. But it's a good framework to get things started,
Sure.
So we did retrace to midnight, but it happened right at 9:30. So technically, the one other way we can trade this is once we have engaged midnight, if we have a short bias in this example, I want to position myself short above midnight open when we're in a premium. This setup really works best in the first couple of hours of the day because after that, if the market wants to just run and we want to be in a bullish trend for the rest of the day, it doesn't really matter that we're above midnight anymore, right? Even though we're in a premium. It's really it's helpful in those first hour, like from 9:30 to 11 a.m. So I have this 5-minute fair value gap marked off. And right now it's holding a support. So we tapped into it. We're getting a little bounce here, but I could use this now. And this is how I get my entry. I try to trade the first inversion fair value gap that occurs after we engage midnight. So if we do get a 5-minute candle closure below this level, I'd be interested in a short. And again, that's why I like using the inversion model because it kind of forces me to have a little bit more confirmation before entering. So even though for a minute it was looking a little bearish here when that 5-minute candle was printing lower, but this is why I wait for candle closures. Now it just looks like it could be a bullish reaction, a little higher low to make a higher high potentially. So still no trade for me. But if we can get this, I have two ways that I'll trade it. You can look for 0.5R. So your stop would go above recent structure. and you look for 0.5 negative risk reward, or this is where your discretion comes back in. Like you said, it depends. If I think I can get 1-to-1, like my draw on liquidity could be this swing low right here, and I think I can get 1-to-1 there, I could go for like 1-to-1 or even 1-to-1.5, dependent on the context. So I'll be watching out for this. If it occurs, I'll take it. The only thing I don't like is that we're still below the previous day's point of control and we haven't touched it yet. So I also have to have that in mind. Like we could get a pullback and then still trade up to here and fulfill that stat. So still a bit conflicted on bias, but I like this potential as a trade idea.
Nice. Listen, man, clearly identified rules, entry criteria, risk management. That's it. That's the sauce right there, man. Sticking to it, tracking the data, saying, hey, it works, this % of the time for me. Maybe I can improve it by, executing faster, being more patient, whatever it is with that little bit of discretion. Solid, man. I'm not a ICT fan. The stuff is hella complicated for me, and obviously there's the whole craziness surrounding it. But I am a big believer that what works for me is not going to work for anybody else, and vice versa, 100%. Right? We watch so many different traders trade so many different ways, and it all comes down to identifying, your personality, your style of reading the market, and something that you can build confidence in, man. So, whatever that magic combination is for you, to apply some consistency, apply some good risk management, and I think keep things simple if you can. This way you can really focus on execution and applying some of that discretion. That's it. That's the juice, man.
100%, man. Yeah. So what I love about ICT is that there are a lot of different ways to trade it, which some people don't like that, but you can keep a simplified version of ICT. Like the way I use it, really, I use fair value gaps, and then I use liquidity in the form of old highs and lows. Like instead of using Bookmap to try and zoom in, or like footprint charts, what we're taught is that we can identify liquidity or key swing points that could act as targets just based off the price action, right? So I like to look for things like double tops and double bottoms. We know that that's an area where there's a lot of stop losses placed usually. So I often target double tops and double bottoms, and that can help give me a draw on liquidity. Or fair value gaps. What this is, a fair value gap is simply an imbalance, right? When there's space in between these wicks, this is an open space. The market is attracted to filling those open spaces. So again, a lot of people might just see this as, well, there's no built up support and resistance. So if we come back in here, we could potentially slice through. That's basically the same way I could look at it as, I think the market can come down to fill this imbalance. So those are really the two ways I use them. I use fair value gaps and I use old highs and lows. So I don't get too overly technical with it. But yeah, it really helps give me a narrative on why the market might be going towards where it's going. A big thing that helped me was, a lot of people focus on entry signals. Like they want a strategy that's going to give them a clearly defined entry trigger, but they don't talk about the narrative or like, well, why should the market keep going up? ICT kind of gives you a narrative because we basically look at the market as understanding that it's always trading to take liquidity. It just wants to sweep people out. So I always focus on my target before I focus on my entry. So if I can identify a clear target, what I've learned is that the entry signal can come a lot more naturally. So I always go that route first. Target, then entry. Instead of, a lot of people just look for an entry trigger and they want to hit the button, but it's like, maybe the market has been going up for the last 2 days, but do you have any narrative other than that on why it's going up? Maybe if you don't, maybe it's finally time for a reversion lower. So yeah, that's the idea. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a move down. And again, if I could just position myself above midnight, I do like the idea to target a bit lower. So just got to be patient here.
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. I think a lot of it does overlap, right? Like looking at the way you just described fair value gap and then talking about it as an imbalance. Like you'll have guys that trade footprint charts and you'd see something like a stacked imbalance, right? On a big 5-minute or 15-minute candle that prints, in one direction without really pulling back at all. So, I think it's finding whatever you can from a technical perspective that allows you to structure risk well, that you can build some narrative, some confidence around, and trade it every day. That's the sauce.
I think ICT Concepts gets a bad rap because of ICT himself.
Yeah,
like, I just think it's him, man. I just feel like the concepts are solid. Like you could name a bunch of futures prop traders who have taken millions in payouts. A lot of them trade ICT. So like the concepts can work just like any other trading strategy. It's about the trader first and foremost, but the concepts are just a tool that we all use to like analyze price. It's just a language model in a way. Like some people use VWAP, some people use footprint charts, some people use fair value gaps. The trader is going to be a big factor in there, and
that's it.
Yeah,
I think it comes down.
That's it.
Comes down to.
But ICT is just, he's kind of a crazy guy.
Yeah, I'll bite my tongue on it so we don't turn it into a whole ICT debate deal. But no, man, I think like you said, it comes down to the trader, right? The guys that I've seen that that you're talking about, you're mentioning, they're like decades in, some of them. Jumping into a trade here.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh
Nice.
wait, oops, no, I don't want to get in. Hold on, I don't want to get in 9. I didn't have my copy trader on, so let me get that going.
Focus
I'm gonna
up.
trade these
Game time.
Yeah, I'm gonna trade these my funded futures accounts, guys. My Tradeify payout. I just took a Tradeify payout last night, so I think my balance has been updated, but I haven't checked. So we're gonna focus on my funded futures for the day. I'm gonna get started on a starter position here, see if we can get filled. We did not fully inverse that gap, but I think that I still want to position myself above midnight for a potential short. So we're going to give this a starting position, see if we can get that move lower.
Nice. I listen, I like the setup. I think it makes sense on YM. The only thing I have starting to set up is a potential long. We did not go and test that prior day point of control. We kind of stayed below that visible range volume profile level. Came back down towards VWAP. We're trading in the middle ground of this consolidation from overnight. Overall, I like trying to position myself long in this market. I don't love this setup. I'd probably be waiting a little bit, see if we come down, put a new low of day in, sweep this overnight low. And I will note, since we're watching ES and NQ, they're looking a lot stronger. They really did not pull all the way back down. ES just getting below VWAP, NQ above. This one could be interesting. I think we could be in for one of those choppy days if we don't if we don't really aggressively pick a direction. We've had obviously quite a bit of movement over the past couple weeks. Wouldn't be completely abnormal to slow it down a little bit, but the only thing I got is a long getting close on YM. But I will say I don't consider myself fading yet. YM, it seems to live in its own world all of the time. It's just the black sheep. I can't.
I was gonna say, it's so different from the other indexes.
Yeah, ES and NQ. I don't trade them all in correlation. Again, I keep my stuff stupidly simple. I end up trading the wrong chart if I'm staring at NQ too much. But I find that ES and NQ are much more correlated. They're typically moving, in the same direction off the open, maybe later into the day. YM will rip like 200 points while NQ dumps, it just lives in its own world sometimes. Obviously different drivers behind it, right? But yeah, I'm watching this thing come right back up to VWAP here.
Do you look at correlations on the indexes? So if you're trading YM, I mean, it's tough because YM trades so differently these days from the others, but do you still like to watch the ES and the NQ just to get an idea? Does it help inform anything for you?
So in the past I did, honestly, a lot, and I've tried to wean myself off of it as much as I possibly can. And I think I'm probably an outlier there because I find more traders do pay attention to, correlations. They're going to pay attention to probably the VIX as well, maybe the Mag 7 if they're trading NQ. I think there's a limit to how much just I personally can handle as far as information goes and processing it, and paying too close of attention to the others, it just doesn't seem to help me in the long run. So for the most part, I haven't. I will say I came off of trading ES exclusively, so I'm always watching ES right now. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't take that into somewhat of a consideration, right? If it's information that's in front of me.
Yeah.
So
Zach, do you notice, do you ever after a day of a payout, do you put in a red day often? I just took a payout with Tradeify, nice 10K payout, and I feel like every day after I take a payout, I'm just set for a red day.
bound for a red day. Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough. I get the ebbs and flows for sure. It is definitely tough right after a payout. It's tough after too many losses, too many wins. I don't know that I always put a red one in right after a payout, but I will say that, you know, the longer I go in trading, the more I notice, man, I just have these periods where I'm reading the market well, my strategy approach is working well, whatever it is, that magic combination comes together and you have that confidence and it's just like you can't lose. And then I have these periods where, you know, we're not reading the market well, we're not executing well, the market is just completely disagreeing, right? Maybe you're a trend trader and the thing is just going to chop, or vice versa.
Cut this, guys, I'm going to cut this real quick.
Push into the upside here, huh?
Yeah, here, I'm going to put my stop right above that wick, and it's probably about to get stopped out.
But yeah, I find that ebb and flow for sure with trading. I'm looking at this thing long. I don't love the risk structure on YM. I really wouldn't want to stop. I really wouldn't want to stop in here. I'm just a fan of the wider stop. I like to let the market breathe. I want to be dead wrong. If I'm wrong, I want this thing to be coming through the low and be putting a low of day in, and this is just a huge bearish candle and I'm absolutely cooked. To the upside, I could absolutely see, you know, all the way back up here to this prior day volume point of control. Came back down, tested VWAP, nice long wick to the downside. I'd like to get one on with you guys here, but this would really be more like a wide stop, like a 200 point stop below low of day that I really wouldn't see myself cutting early. I'm going to see if we pull back a little bit more on this, kind of dance around this area of high volume, watch book map, but I'm considering it, but I think I'm going to find myself just not putting this one on.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, at this point, it's beginning to look like maybe NQ wants to take its previous day's point of control. So I definitely don't want to try and short again unless we really break down here.
Just watching this bad boy.
We got Shavam says in the chat, they're long NQ with small risk on a retracement. Let's see. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, feels like NQ is going to at least make one new high day.
Looks like they might be setting up for it, man. This bullish pop to the upside.
ES is a little bit weaker than NQ. NQ definitely looks like the strongest asset for the bullish case, and I guess YM is lagging behind the two. Would you say for the bullish scenario?
Yep, for sure. I'm looking at all three on a second screen here.
YM looks like it might take a new low.
Yeah, we pulled all the way down, crossed VWAP, came all the way back through. I like this bullish, but yeah, man, it's just, you know, part of what I look at for sure is risk structure, right? It's why I like these from the extreme trades where I give price a lot of room, you know, on something like this, for example, to come all the way back down. And I mean, there was quite a few points on the table here for YM to the downside. I'm more cautious in the, you know, we came down, now we've got confirmation. Maybe these have a little bit higher probability of playing out. But again, I think at any point, you know, this trade is really still valid for me unless we come all the way down through and put a new low of day in. So, you know, having a stop loss like right in here below this 15-minute candle, it's a little bit dicey. So we're coming up on 10:30, just a couple minutes. We're going to get this initial balance to set. It's another opening range I take a look at. Again, I don't mark everything on my chart these days, just kind of aware of it. Shout out Edgeful for giving stats behind that one. But that could be an interesting one to watch. Maybe I'm a little bit more confident to say, hey, if we come back down through this initial balance low, that's a break to the downside. We're much less likely to come up here and break this high and continue to the upside. But I'm still tempted on this one long for the day. I think we do have a chance to come right back up on this, test yesterday's volume point of control, try to turn this one into a bullish day. If not, if I'm dead wrong, I think this thing comes through the low. ES and NQ give up VWAP that they're holding right now, and this could turn to the downside. But so far, these don't look like they want to move lower.
How do you like to use the initial balance? I used to use it a lot, and like you said, I'm still always aware of it, but it just might not be marked on my chart. But it used to be a big tool of mine. And again, just simple data. Like I forgot the exact data, but I think roughly like 70% of the time, depending on the market context, if you break one side of the initial balance, you are very unlikely to break the opposing side. It can help with directional bias once it's formed. And anyone who doesn't know, the initial balance is very simply the first hour of the trading day. So from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern, you'll put in a range. That's your initial balance, high and low.
Yep. Yeah, I use it similarly, right? So there's kind of three stats that I've paid attention to on it, which is the first one, just like you said. We just have it set now. So for example, on YM, initial balance high is going to come off of this 945 candle. Initial balance low is going to come right off of this 1015 candle. And the stats, you hit it there. The stats about 70% that once we break one side, either the high or the low, we do not come back down and come back up and break the other side. It's a strong stat. If you have a big wide range, it might not provide the best data to do too much with. But there's some other ones around it, which are, if we break one side, we typically extend by an average amount. We typically don't just sweep it.
About 0.5 of the range is a pretty likely one, at least.
Yep. Which makes sense, right? We're breaking out one side after an hour. We typically don't just put these tiny, daily candles in. We're going to move. We're going to pick a direction to a degree. The other one is based on, you can tell which side is more likely to break first based on which side was formed first and last. So for today, we formed the initial balance high first. We formed the initial balance low second. We're more likely by a decent percent to break this low first and then put the other stats in play. Now,
interesting.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. Yeah. It makes sense, right? Like, if we wick to the upside and then we're putting lows in coming into 1030, we're more likely to be closer to that price wise. We got a high potential of breaking that. But again, I think sometimes, I will grain of salt this. Sometimes the stats from some of these providers are like overstated by traders, and that, well, I have a 70% edge because XYZ plays out on the initial balance. No, it's not. That's not exactly how it works. But I do think, just like we would look for in back testing, right? There's a pattern that plays out around market generated information. Can we use that to our advantage? I think so. It can give you some context, right? If I'm getting long here, which I'm still considering, I recognize that if we come down and break this, I'm trading against a 70% stat that we come back up and break this high. We just, we traditionally don't get that double break. Does that mean that it won't happen today? For sure not. We can, anything can happen at any time. That's kind of the way the market moves. But it can help, frame some statistics, frame some context for the market for your trading. I don't use any of it exclusively. I really stick to my discretionary overall approach to the market. And for YM, I'm really refining it into two things: the immediate pop in pre-market, or it off the open into a level of high volume, and that quick reversion back down to VWAP, back down to the the middle ground, the area of high volume, and then more of what I'm looking at today, which is a potential continuation. Pop to the upside, came back down. If we start to hold this, or at least just dance around here, give me a way to structure risk with the higher time frame trend, trading back towards yesterday's volume point of control. Maybe Bookmap is showing some strength to the upside. We get a nice positive CVD. Whatever the reasons that I'm identifying a bullish bias, that I might look to trade with that, right? And it's kind of a little bit later into the session. So I'm eyeballing that one right now, but this is a little bit dicey.
Yeah. By the way, I got a few more things that are interesting about the initial balance that I can bring up. I'll go to my chart real quick. No more trades for me at the moment. We're pretty slow right now, slowing down a little bit. Also, it's funny, dude. You mentioned the Edgefold data about the initial balance, the standard deviations. I actually asked Andre's the owner of Edgeful. I actually asked him to pull that data.
Nice. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a while ago. But okay, so initial balance. One thing that Trader Drysdale was talking about, I didn't know this, but it makes perfect sense. He taught me this yesterday on stream. Shout him out. Is that you oftentimes when we break the initial balance one side, the first thing you'll do, I'm going to go to the replay mode real quick so
sure
I could go to lower time frame. But oftentimes when you get this first break of the initial balance, you'll get a move like this where we come back up to, in this case, the initial balance low, and you start to get another rejection, right? But this rejection, the first one, often gets invalidated. So we oftentimes will get exactly what happened here, where we break the initial balance low, you get this kind of like break and retest of the initial balance low, which I'm sure a lot of people would be looking at, trying to use it as a level to, build a short idea off of. They'll say, if we reject from the initial balance low here, I'll get short because this can be a resistance level now. Oftentimes you'll get a small rejection and then you'll come up and you'll actually it'll fade and you'll get that deeper retracement. So he taught us this yesterday and we actually traded a short with this in mind. So we got this initial rejection and then we came back up for a deeper retracement, essentially stopping out anyone who had their stop too tight down here on this lower high. And then we got short in this area. I was using a little 5-minute fair value gap. So I got short inside this.
Nice.
This was
I don't want to interrupt you. I'm getting long on this one. I do want to call out if I'm throwing a trade on.
No, let's do it.
Keep running it if keep running it, man. Just want to call that one out. I'm getting long from 46,748. But yeah, awesome. This is good. Okay. This is good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pull up your screen in a sec. But yeah, that's basically it. So that first break and retest of one side of the initial balance oftentimes will get faded in the short term. You get that deeper retracement. And if you are going to get continuation like we did here, you'll get something like this. So you put in lower low, break the initial balance low, lower high, retest, lower low, deep retracement, stop out this swing high, and then continue. So just a really helpful piece of information when using the initial balance that I think you can implement that today. It's really simple.
For sure.
Yeah, here, let's go to your chart. Let's see your long. So you're long YM, right?
Yeah, long 1 mini from 46,748. Again, this one isn't anything too crazy, but like we were talking about, untested volume point of control, push to the upside, driving higher, sellers at least into initial balance, unable to take this thing lower. We did sweep prior day's low here in pre-market, which I do like. It makes the case that, hey, we took out, maybe popped whatever stops we needed to, shook out some weak longs here and have really built this base. I think we either go one of two ways, right? And this is kind of just a way that I think as well as I start to frame a trade idea, frame a bias. There's a chance for chop today where we just back and forth and take me and everybody else out and then kind of settle right down here. But my thesis is if we don't push off VWAP here, come back through, break this initial balance high to the upside, maybe come and check out this prior day volume point of control, or really start to form a bullish day. If we don't do that, and conversely, we come through the low of day, I think we're coming lower. And I think I'm just dead wrong on this trade. And we're coming, all the way down, what would be a target to the downside on YM, past my validation point, right? I don't love having a stop loss right in here. Having something stupid wide, I think would be just completely unreasonable. It would really generate a need for a huge move. Anything in here for an invalidation point, I don't love, right? Because I think we can easily, and I would be comfortable, with us pulling something like this, right? Even coming down just below this by, again, this is a 15-minute chart, so I'm pretty zoomed out here, by quite a few points, and then popping right back up through, again, kind of faking everybody out, taking out some longs that are jumping in here with too tights of stops. But I like this one. Looks good. There's nothing screaming at me on Bookmap to say don't take this trade. If I was using correlation, which technically I'm not, we got NQ and ES that have both retested VWAP. ES broke through. NQ putting a new high of day in right now, and ES starting to drive to the upside. So I like this one. For a potential target area, I think this area is going to be dicey. You know, I want to hold through this. Just I'd like to get to this volume point of control up here. This area could be a little dicey. I think I got to see what happens as we come up here. You know, if we pop right through, I think sellers are going to put up a fight here. Again, not even talking narratives. These are just areas of interest, right? I want it to be short up here off the open, so I want to be cautious holding long through it. But yeah, that's going to be my trade for the day. Nothing too crazy. 1 mini, 870. If I take an L on this one, just kind of talking about risk management for prop accounts and you know, firms and stuff, I probably won't take another trade. That'll probably be it. You know, I've got, like I said, a $3,000 DLL on this account. I want to give myself plenty of room to work. If I take a number of $1,000 losses, I'm still not digging myself too much of a hole to work myself out of. So that's gonna be my trade for this one for now.
Yeah, great analysis, man. I mean, it's looking good so far. It's in profit. You got a clear invalidation zone for your stop, giving it the room it needs, and you have targets. I mean, you could be trading up towards that previous day's point of control, but like you said, you don't need to hold for that necessarily. Maybe take profits at the first potential problem area. Yeah, I like it. And that's on the Top One Futures pre-live account. Shout out Top One Futures, guys. They're a sponsor of this stream. I'll actually be giving out some Top One Futures accounts soon. Maybe right before Zach heads off, we'll get a giveaway going. And
nice.
Code match. You can get 55% off right now.
Nice. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Shout out Top One. They are, I'm partnered. I'm affiliated with Top One. I always like to be transparent about that stuff. But they're solid, man. They've been really solid. 6 months in, over 16 million in payouts. Not without some growing pains off the start, but it's been really cool to share my experience now in this account, which I'm having a positive one, man. So it's solid. And I don't know if I'm allowed to plug myself. Am I allowed to plug myself as far as just,
absolutely.
I don't have anything to sell, man. I'm free 99 across the board. I trade live every day, 9:15 a.m. for the open. Don't consider myself to have it all figured out. Not the best trader. Definitely not on any prop firm leaderboards. No crazy payouts. I'd put myself behind a bunch, but I'm happy to share what trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, you know, run-ups and live accounts and lost accounts and heartbreak, everything in between. So I'd be happy to have anybody from the stream come and hop on. It's RealDealZach across socials. And I also run a free Discord community. Again, no VIP feeder program, no coaching, no mentorship. Yeah, that's the deal.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I think I tune into your stream from time to time. I think that's why you have a lot of viewers, man. I think you're just really honest, open, and genuine. Like, you actually share your story. You're not, you share the real things that happen. A lot of people only share the good. All of us, I think, who are in the social media space, we're all guilty of it sometimes. You know, we don't want to admit when we blew up all of our accounts, all of that. But yeah, you're really good with that. I think
I try, man. Listen, this it's tough. I will say it's not fun to pull up trading live every morning when you've taken like 3 back-to-back losses. Like, I had to do a postmortem, for example, on a 7-pack of accounts that I traded for a long time. I was trading the same pack and you know, ended up losing them, and it sucks. It's not fun to do. But, you know, that's the reality of this game, man. And I think that's if people understood that, the expectations could align a little bit better, and, you know, we'd be able to make more progress. So I had a lot of that. I had a lot of negative input first, and then a lot of positive input, you know, around watching guys trade live day in and day out, go on gnarly losing streaks, and then come out super green, you know, and maybe early on in that mind, I'm watching them, I'm like, these dudes suck. Who takes losses 2 days in a row? Like, wow, how horrible. Like, no. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is the reality of trading. This is how this stuff works. You know, we don't know with any real degree of certainty what's going to happen next on any one individual trade. Comes down to managing risk, thinking of large sample sizes. You know, I subscribe to that Mark Douglas mindset. Like on this one, like I always like to be upfront about it. I have no idea what's going to happen next, man. You know, not to like go to the extreme, but Trump could sneeze. Anybody says tariffs, like we're cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it goes. But if you accept that on the front end and you understand the game of probabilities that we're playing, that maybe I have a very small but measurable edge, I hope I do, over a large sample size of trades. And if I apply some consistency to my trading, I track my results, I try to do a little bit more of what's working, a little bit less of what's not, I can make some money in the long run, right? Do I know what's going to happen today, this week, this month? Absolutely not, man. But if we could display that, I think as a whole, and there's a lot of great traders out there that do, not calling myself a great trader, but there's a lot of guys that stream live that do display that. I think it's important rather than, hey, this trade's going to be a banger. Here's all the reasons why it's going to hit. And all you needed to do was use my secret volume profile over here. And, no, dude, like my chart is, very, very simple. I talk about the way that I trade in a very, very simple way because that's what seems to work for me. And if it's not working for me, you're going to watch it play out live. I don't have to tell anybody anything about my trading because it's live. It stays up. It's free 99. So, but no, man, it's fun. I got an awesome community. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat from my community. I appreciate everybody that comes and hangs and watches for sure.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, absolutely. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, I'm liking your trade, man. I think think it looks solid.
I like the. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I think I'm going to keep it flat for the time being. And hopefully we can see this pull before you hop off. I'm guessing, are you staying till 11?
Yeah. I'll hang on.
If you got to go though, totally cool.
No,
too.
I got time, man. We got to trade on. Cool. Hopefully it plays out, right? It's always fun to hang out when it's in profit. But
yeah.
But,
By the way,
man, no, go ahead.
As you were saying, giving your spiel, Wendy said, and his beard is fire. So you do have a fire beard. FYI. Yeah, you definitely got me beat,
Yeah. You got me on the hair though. You got me on the flow for yeah. Oh yeah. So
you got a flow.
Dude, I chopped all of mine. All of mine. Yeah, I had super long hair. I donated it all to Locks of Love. Some little girl somewhere hopefully has a dope head of hair, but I'm growing it back. I can't do this short hair stuff, man.
Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat's been awesome. This has been fun, man. I think you guys got an awesome program. I've watched some of the stuff that you guys have been doing. Ton of different traders on, different perspectives. Yeah. I love it, man. I think this is going to. It's already big, man. I checked it out this morning. The guy's got like 800 on X. It's heavy, man. It's great.
Yeah, it's going, man. Yeah, we're building it up. I mean, one of the things about streaming, and you kind of touched on this, like. We talked about how a lot of people don't want to share their losses. They don't want to be truthful about where they're at. But I think that's why live streaming is so popular right now, because it kind of forces transparency. Like if you're going to take a trade live on stream, you can't fake that. I mean, maybe you can paper trade, I guess, but even if you paper trade, you can lose.
No, this is it, man. We've come into this day and age with AI, and even before that, like I've seen it all. Everything can be edited. Broker statements, live logins, right? We watch it all. The only way you can display, your level or what you're trying to do is live trading now. Like execution showing, not just talking about it, P&L running. And that's what I always wanted. It's what I always wanted out of guys. And it was what was helpful for me to see. Like I was talking about watching guys go on losing streaks and then come out green. So I think that's the only way. It's not always super fun to do, like we were talking about. It's not always super fun to. It's
tough, man. You gotta give us live streamers a little bit of credit, guys. It's tough to do this.
Yeah. Listen, trading itself ain't hard work. We're sitting in the AC. All that stuff is fine. There's a lot more that we could be doing. But nah, man, sharing this stuff is it's tough. But yeah, no, I respect dudes like you and so many others that are out there, and girls, right? Not to just always make it a guy or dude. That trade live. They trade live consistently, especially if they do it free. But if you're throwing executions on the chart, stops, you're letting the thing play out, you're showing P&L running. That's the sauce, man. That's it. And I think it's great if we talk about our trading, we show results, we talk about the good and the bad. But man, this space is tough, man. And just like everything else, I think we need that transparency. You got to do it live, man. Got to do it live.
You got to. It's just one of the best markers for if you're doing it right. I remember when I was first learning, you learned from so many people. I was at YouTube University every single day, and I remember thinking like, damn, okay, they explained this really well, but I just wish I could see it happen in real time. I remember thinking that to myself before the live streaming thing really was picking up. And who do you think was the first person or the first entity to really make trading live streaming big? I feel like you got to give Top Step credit. They're like one of the first big live streams. They were the first that I started watching. For sure. I'm sure there's a couple others that were doing it, but yeah, what do you think?
I probably I'd probably say that's the one that I've watched like from a firm. I was in a couple communities, paid communities that I finally got into, where the person that I was charging was trading live every day, day in and day out, and really showing it. But yeah, Top Step TV was pretty huge, man. And I was on there quite a bit in the past. And that's the same thing, man. You're trading live. You're on there live every day. You can't fake it. But there's a lot now, man. And I think honestly, it's a good thing. I think it's awesome. There's so much out there to learn from. And again, if somebody like, me, I don't claim to be the best, I don't claim anything, you could watch that person and say, hey man, that person has their own read of the market. That doesn't work for me. Here, I don't want to do that. That does not jive with the way that I want to trade. I don't understand the way that they think about the markets. Let me move on until I find somebody that does. And I think that's the beauty of having, so many guys trade so many different things, so many different ways, live for free in a lot of cases, or for really, really inexpensive amounts for what I, used to try to pay to get in front of guys like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, no, Top Step was huge, and there's a lot more. I know there's a lot more firms that do it. It's cool to see Prop Firm Match do it, for sure. But yeah, man, this is sweet, and I'm a big fan of the multiple perspectives, like having guests on all the time. And I used to like to watch Top Step TV for that reason. It can get a little bit confusing because there's just so many different personalities everywhere. But like you said, you're trading ICT, I'm trading something different. We have our different ways that we read the market, and just getting so many different traders' perspectives and stories, I think it'd be helpful. I think it'd be helpful for beginners or for anybody in between.
Yeah, it's got to be the best time. It's got to be the Trader Drysdale was saying, we're in the golden age of retail online trading, because there's just so much quality education out there. There's also a lot of bad education, and there's a lot of charlatans in the space and all that. But if you know where to look, you got so many good opportunities. You can learn totally for free on YouTube and get quality education. There are also a ton of solid mentorships that if you want to pay for it, you want to get some more, one-on-one coaching. There's just so much opportunity right now in the retail online space.
It is, man. It's a solid time. Prop firms have never been more competitive. And like you said, there's just so many resources available. And I think it's almost moving. It's interesting. There's like cycles. I think it's almost moving past the like complete BS. Here's all you have to do is trade for 10 minutes a day using my magic indicator. Like, so much of that has just been like cleared by the wayside, and everyone's like, okay, well, now everybody's been watching this for long enough. We know that ain't how it works. So, this is going to be real. This ain't a get rich quick scheme. I'm going to have realistic expectations, put years in, but here's how I can start to do that. If I'm serious about this, I want to make this a meaningful, side income or full time or whatever it is. But yeah, dude, like you said, there's a ton. And I'm not knocking at all. I paid for mentorships. I paid for a lot of it, some good, some bad, but there's so many resources out there where you can work with guys one-on-one, have a support system, and pay for that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Also, just the fact, you have a free community, which is awesome, but having a community is so important. I think that's the other aspect of live streaming on why it's so popular right now. When you're sitting at home alone, you got no one to talk to about this. You need people to talk and bounce ideas off of, especially with trading, because you cannot talk to the average person about this. Like, they either think you're speaking, a totally different language, or they think it's cringe, or they think you're lying. Like, they don't want to.
They have no idea
talk about this. Yeah, man, you just cannot. They have no idea. So it's essential for that, that reason too.
100%. I'd encourage everybody out there, find a good community. If you want to check one out, I got one. I'm sure Prop for a Match has got some. But find a community of traders that you can share your journey with, man. You can share the good, you can share the bad. Just like Zach was saying, like, nobody in our outside life knows what the hell we're talking about. Like, I yap to my wife all the time, and she's like, you gotta talk to your friends or something. I have no idea what's talking about, like, tariffs, the market's crazy, volatility. She's like, so anyway, find a group that's, sharing all the wins, right? Maybe not the Wall Street bets where it's just straight green P&Ls and, everybody making money, and but guys sharing wins, losses. And I think that's super important. Having that community could give you some perspective, and again, not even just to like learn or take something from, but to be able to say, dude, I had a gnarly bad day. I went on tilt. I ripped through my accounts. And for the guys next to you to go, this sucks. That sucks, dude. You got to get your shit together. But excuse me. But I've been there, and let's rally and get this thing done. Take a break, step back, and then keep pushing on. So yeah, community is huge, man. Community's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Your trade's still looking good, man.
Yeah, dude. I know we're yapping a bit here, but it's a good conversation. Watching this one play out, this looks good. This is what I would have liked to see out of price action and market structure. Continuing to push to the upside. If we come back down through this low, I'm not going to love it as much. I may look to manage in a different way. I would really like to see this thing come up, break the high, and then potentially check out the 47,000 even here, right below this prior day volume point of control. That would be really beautiful. But so far, pretty nice. Happy with the entry. I did wait a little bit on this one. I waited for some of this to be pushing back up. But again, I think it's decision-making time. Are we just gonna chop here on YM and kind of settle down around VWAP, in the 700s? Are we going to at least come up here, try to push this thing higher, form a bullish day, or are we just going to pull this kind of frustrating fake out to the upside and then blast lower? I'm trading obviously for that bullish move on this one. I like this across the board. It's a consistent way that I can structure risk and try to flow with the market. But again, do I know what's going to happen next on this one? No, and especially not in these markets. If you're learning to trade in these markets, I give you credit. But I think one benefit that you're going to have is that that anything can happen at any time for any reason. If you're trading on, for the last couple months, I'm sure you were caught in at least one of those, tweets or comments about tariffs, geopolitics. And it's not always that. Sometimes the market's just going to do what it wants to do before it does something different. But yeah, I'm kind of, as I'm watching this, I'm looking at always defense. We came back through this thing and broke IB low. It would be a little bit tough to hold on to this one. This is certainly not enough yet with this type of structure to take profit on anything. I would want to allow this bad boy to come up, retest this level, break the high. But I'm going to eyeball it. I'm okay with a retest of VWAP. I'm okay with dancing around this area of high volume before maybe we push. I would almost really like to allow for a gnarly fake out to the downside one more time before we do it. But I'm going to have to see as we come lower.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is there a point that you will go do you go break even ever? Is that something you do? Because some people don't ever want to do that. Some people do. What's your take on that? Yeah,
I find it hurts me more than it helps me. My data screams not to do it. My data really screams not to do it. Far more often than not, if I go stop loss to break even, I am stopped out, and then the trade continues in my in my favor. That happens far more often than I'm stopped out and it continues all the way to stop loss.
Where it saves you, yeah.
Yeah, so I am a trader who is going to allow trades like this, to allow a winner to turn into a loser, to allow trade to move in profit and then move all the way back on me in pursuit of those larger profits, in pursuit of giving the trade room to breathe, setting a clean invalidation level to say, I want to be out at this point. I'll apply discretion, but I really try to keep myself from going stop loss to break even. And again, that just comes from looking at my data. I think for other traders, based on their entries, the style, you're probably going to have something that's a beautiful thing to do. It's a smart idea. It helps you more than it hurts you. For me, and I struggle with it. I really don't love to do it. I don't like to watch a trade move in my favor and then come back. But I've done it live so many times. I've had the painful day over and over and over again. And it's just one of those things where I know, double-edged sword, that if I don't go stop loss to break even, I'm going to have trades that show me 400 something bucks in profit like this one, then come all the way back to stop me out. But if I never allow that to happen, I'll never get past the stop at break even and the $1,000 winners, so it's a balance. As a whole, I think for me on the way that I'm trading YM here, I'm going to prefer a discretionary close for partial loss, for partial win, based on, what's happening. We chop here, we come up to test this high, I hold it, then we come all the way back down. Maybe I clip it. We start to come down through here with some real aggression. Maybe I say, you know what, I'm going to take the partial loss on this one, that type of deal.
Very well said, man. Very well said. And it's about to be 11, man. So I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you again so much for coming on, bro. I hope we could have you on again soon. This was a great conversation.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. Shout out Prop for a Match. Appreciate you guys. If there's anybody in the audience looking for a community, some positivity, not the best trader in the world, but showing it live every day. Happy to show you what that looks like for me every morning and in the community. RealDealZach across socials, Instagram, X, everywhere else.
Let's go. All right, man. And you know what? In honor of RealDealZach, as soon as we get to 100 likes on this stream, guys, I'll run a giveaway, and it'll be we'll use Real Deal Futures in the chat to enter, but don't enter yet. As soon as we hit 100 likes, we'll run the giveaway. But okay, man. Thanks again so much for coming on, brother. It was great talking with you.
Thanks, man.
Peace out, bro. All right, chat. How we doing? Great conversation with Zach. I knew that was going to be a good one, man. So yeah, guys, this is what I want to do. I want to run a giveaway, and we will do, we'll have you enter in the chat, but I just want to see us hit 100 likes. We got 64 people watching right now. Okay, I just refreshed. We're at 98. Let's get 2 more, and we'll run this giveaway. And the guests just keep getting better, guys. I really feel like they just keep getting better. Some people Zach is the favorite for some of you. That's awesome, man. And we got the same name. It's a solid name. You know what I mean? Hey, there he is in the chat. Thanks, Zach. Proper match in chat. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, you too, bro. All right, did we hit 100? Did we hit 100? Let's see. Boom. Okay, we hit 100. Let's do it. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. We are going to give away a Blue Guardian account. Okay, Blue Guardian standard challenge. We're going to give it away. To enter into the giveaway, what I want you guys to do is to type Real Deal Futures into the chat. Okay, a bit of a, little longer than the usual, but Real Deal Futures. Type that into the chat to enter. And this is what we're going to do. Stay tuned. Don't leave the stream. And I am going to do a quick bathroom break, and while you get those entries in, I will announce the winner as soon as I get back. So just stay on, give me like 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll go ahead and we'll run this giveaway. So, all right, get your entries in, and I will be right back, guys. See you in a sec. All right, we are back. We are back. Told you that'd be quick. How we doing, chat? Did we get our giveaway entries in? I see a lot of entries in. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I want to get the music back on. Gotta get those tunes on, All right, cool. So let's run this giveaway. What I want to do, guys, because I got to copy and paste all these. If you entered, just do me a favor, enter one more time so that I definitely get your entry. And then we will run this giveaway at 11:05. So you got about a minute and a half to get your entry in one more time, just so that I make sure I don't miss anyone. So go ahead, keep them coming. And again, this will be for a Blue Guardian account. We'll give away 2. We'll do 2 Blue Guardian accounts to give away. Okay, we got about 40 seconds. Keep them coming. Let's go. A lot of entries coming in. I love it. 30 seconds. Market is just chopping, huh? 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds to get your entry in. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. All right, so those are going to be our entries. Let me get these into our list and we'll run this. Here we go. Now we got the music on. Bam. Okay. Let me get these into the chat. Also, everyone, did we love the interview with Zach? I really liked that interview. That was solid. So just gonna get these entries in. We'll run a pinwheel. Okay, we'll do a pinwheel for this one. And again, this is for some Blue Guardian accounts. Okay, let's get these in here. I just got a few more to enter. Okay, there we go. Hold up. All right, we ready, guys? Is this music a little too loud? Lower it a little bit. All right, let's run it, fam. This is for Blue Guardian. Shout out Blue Guardian Futures Prop. Let's hit it. Ooh, just made it. LL. LL, you are the winner. You are the winner. Let's go. Abby says it's vibes for the pinwheel. Hell yeah. Yeah, the music is vibes for the pinwheel. You're right. All right, LL, let us know in the chat that you're here. And again, to claim. Okay, I see you. Let's go, LL. Congratulations. So remember, to claim your account, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Prop Firm Match Support on X. You're not DMing me anymore because that just was making it too confusing. So you're going to DM them directly at Prop Firm Match Support, okay? I'll drop the link in the chat. DM them with a timestamp of the chat of where you won and your YouTube name, okay? Make sure you give them your YouTube name and show proof that it's your YouTube. Yeah, guys, I'll check your names. You know what the problem is? There was one person that entered their name like 100 times and it confused the separator. So I kind of might have missed a couple people. But okay, that's how you're going to do it. Claim your account, Prop Firm Match Support, and let me check for your guys' names. That's fine. So we're going to remove LL. Okay, what were your guys' names? Let me check. Satish. Remember, guys, I always want to remind you, if your country happens to be restricted for Blue Guardian, you're not going to be able to claim the account. I just want you guys to understand that. There's nothing we can do. We can't give you a different account. So just make sure that your country is not restricted before you enter. Number two, if you have won an account this week, you cannot win another account. You're allowed to win a giveaway once per week in the rare chance that the same, someone does win twice in a week. But okay, Satish, I'll add you right here. Was there anyone else? No, just Satish. Okay. Tom Ward. Here, Tom, I'll add you right here, brother. I got Tom Ward in there. Suhail, we got you in here, I think. Oh, you were the other person we missed. Okay. AB. Shivam, I think you're in here. Oh, this is what it is. It messed up all the S's and anything near the S's, because somebody entered like 500 times. Tristan, I'll add you. Tristan's in. Vijar, you're in. Kurt. All right, you know what, guys? Let's just run it back. So for the next account, everybody type Blue Guardian in the chat. We'll just redo it. Type Blue Guardian in the chat right now, and I won't miss any of you. Start going right now. You have until 11:12. Okay, you got until 11:12 to enter. Type in Blue Guardian in the chat. I'm getting to everyone right now. Yeah, we're going to stick with the spin. I like the spin. All right, so get in here, guys. There we go. Everyone get in. I'm not missing. I haven't missed a single person now. There's no way we're missing anyone. And please, enter like once or twice, okay? If you enter like 50 times, it's going to mess up my the tool that I use to separate the names. So there's absolutely no reason to enter like 50 times. Once, twice, 3 times max if you just don't want to get missed. I understand that. Okay, 11:12. At 11:12, your entries will all be counted. Over the weekend, I'm going to do a lot of research on how to make the giveaways a little more streamlined. But they're working. I mean, people are getting their accounts. We're getting it going. Okay, you probably got a few more seconds until 11:12. Okay, 11:12. That's it for the entries. Let's get these separated. Okay, there we go. We definitely got all the names now, guys. So I'm going to add these in here. Let's get rid of these. Bam. We got all the names. All right, chat. We ready? This is for another Blue Guardian account. Let's run it. 1, 2, 3. Curious Guy. Curious Guy, you were the winner. Interesting YouTube name. The man is curious. Curious if he was going to win an account or not. You did. So congrats, Curious Guy, for winning. Bam. And what you're going to do, my friend, again, you are going to DM PFM support on X, okay? That's all you got to do. I'll put the link to their channel, to their X account in here so that you can just click on it. Go ahead and DM them directly and they will take care of you, okay? It does take like 1 to 2 business days, okay, to get everything situated, guys. So just remember that. Be patient, but they'll get with you soon. They will contact you after you contact them. Bam. All right, dope. How many more accounts do I have? Because I can give away a couple more, but I don't want to make the whole wrap-up segment about giveaways. You know what I mean? Let's see. And we had LL as the other winner. Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check that. So we have 2 more accounts. Do we want to give away 2 more top 1 futures accounts quick? I think we can run that real quick and then we'll get back to some trading. We're just going to use the same list. Okay, so let's run it again and give away a top 1 futures account. On 3, 1, 2, 3, go. No alpha futures today, no. All right, Mustafa, congrats, bro. Mustafa, you are the winner, and this is for top 1 futures. So again, let us know in the chat you're here, and then to claim, go to prop firm match support. We'll do duck race for the last one. I'm down for that. But yeah, Mustafa, congrats, bro. Mustafa, congratulations, brother. All right, last one, we'll do a duck race. And then I'll do one more at the end of the stream, okay? We'll do one more set. But we'll run one more real quick. We're going to use the same list, okay, guys? I've removed the names of the people that have already won, so we'll make it easy. But let's get this going. Duck race, and then let's get back to some charts. All right, we'll get these names up in here. You know, we got to reward, though. You know, we got to do giveaways. We got to reward all you guys for tuning in. We're really grateful that we're only on week 2, and I feel like we have a good regular amount of people. I see familiar names. We're building a community. So, yeah, I'm super excited about that, guys. So, you know, we want to reward, make sure we hook you up with some giveaways. But, all right, let's set this. We got 30 seconds. You're 100% right. The fastest duck never wins. If you're in first in the first 10 seconds, dude, you're done. You're going to lose, bro. That's just the reality. But all right, let's run this. We got 30 seconds. Boom. Who's got it? So I'm sorry, but top trends, you're in front right now. You're going to lose. You just know it. All right, now it could be anyone's game. You got Wander Walks. We got Tour Trades. Tour Trades looks like they got it, but yep, there you go. See? Ooh, I think it's going to be that granny. I think it's going to be the grandma duck. Okay. All right, GN131. You're the winner. Congrats. GN131. Make sure I add that again. To get there, you're just going to contact PFM support on X, okay? GN1313. So again, to claim, my friend, you're going to go to prop firm match support on X. You're going to DM them. Please make sure you give them your YouTube name. Okay, so tell them your YouTube name and like a screenshot and let them know you're the winner. They'll take care of you. Beautiful. All right, so we ran some giveaways. I do have 2 more accounts I can give away. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it towards the end of the stream, all right? So let's chill for now and let's get some trading in. So honestly, I still think we could go lower today, guys. I did end up entering a trade while we were running the giveaway. So let me get that going. I don't know about this one. Like I already took an L today, right guys? So I want to be a little more careful on this next trade, but I'm up 25 points. But I kind of think that this could run. I think I can get like a really bearish move all the way down to like 80s. So I'm going to hold this and I could go over this trade. All right. So I'm going to get rid of the initial balance. NQ retracing. So here's the thing. We have a bearish SMT divergence right here on the higher time frame. So you could really see this on the 15-minute. NQ has come up and swept out this high right here from yesterday on Wednesday. If we go to ES, ES has, oh, you know what? ES did sweep out that high now. So there's no more SMT. Yeah. All right. So we got to take the SMT out of the picture, but I still like it. I still like this overall. 930. Yeah. Okay. I still like this. Here's the thing, guys. We're still inside. Oh, did I get rid of MNQ? We are still inside this overall 4-hour bearish fair value gap, right? So this is still holding as resistance for the time being. We have not inversed this yet. And we have a whole 2.5 hours left on this candle before we know if it's inversed. So an inversion only occurs when you get a 4-hour candle closure above the zone, right? So as of right now, it's still holding. And I just think that we can get a deeper move down. I think this sell-off, I want to see a continuation. And this is kind of my line in the sand right now. So we're inside a key level. On top of that, we have midnight open, right? Let's pull up midnight. Hold on. Clean up this chart a little bit. So there's midnight open. Get the rest of these out. We're still below the previous day's point of control. Now, I will say there's a bit conflicting bias here because we could retrace up to here to fulfill the 80% setup, but I'm fading that right now. And that's why, like, there's never a set in stone thing. I'm kind of fading that idea right now because I just think we can go a little bit lower first and hold this 4-hour fair value gap. Maybe a rotation back down to the previous day's value area low. But the thing is, we're above midnight, so I'm positioning myself in a premium of the daily trading range, hopefully. And I think what we can do is I think this could be the low-hanging fruit. So let me make this a different color. So we have this 5-minute imbalance right here. I think we can draw into this 5-minute gap, okay? And then if the market wants to continue an uptrend and it wants to do something like this, that's cool with me. But I think I can get a good amount of points down to like the 80s. We got a good entry, right? So let's see. Yeah, that would be about 400 ticks, about 100 points that I think is a possible take profit scenario. So I'm chilling right now. I'm going to hold this trade for the time being and keep you guys updated on it. What are you guys thinking though? Anybody in a trade? Anyone looking for shorts, for longs? What's your guys' take on the market right now? Let me know your guys' take. We're floating. We're floating like 130 ticks right now. How long does it take for them to reply? At least they're not even going to start replying until the end of the stream, guys. So like, don't be waiting for an immediate reply. And it could take like 1 to 2 business days altogether by the time everything gets situated. So just be patient. You'll get the account though. Long is a good idea, Money Glitch. Okay. Shavam is still in the long. Interesting. Let's get a P&L check. Are you guys red or green today so far? Red or green? So far, I'm red. I took 1 loss, if you guys remember, at the open with Zach on. So right now, I'm just chilling. Still red on the day. Floating some profit. We'll see. We'll see. I'm relaxed, man. Like I said, took a nice payout yesterday. So like whatever happens today is all good. I'm trading low risk, 3 micros. Just see what happens. I really want to see this market sell off on the daily time frame, guys. I'm so tired of like being in a daily uptrend and just like making new all-time highs constantly on the NQ. Like, I think I might have a little bit of an unhealthy bias for that reason, but I just, dude, I want to see these wicks get taken out eventually over the next couple of days. Like, I just want to see this market sell off. I really do. It sucks though, because like we do have relative equal highs here, which was the last time we made an all-time high. I mean, this is totally a draw on liquidity that I know will get taken eventually. I'm really hoping for a bigger sell-off first. Again, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to my intraday bias. Like, I could still get long intraday and wish that the market was selling off on the higher time frame. Like, it doesn't make a difference, but we'll see. Sam says, bro, market has already retraced to midnight open. Is it worth it to target it? So not technically. Like if you're trying to trade the midnight retracement, no. You like it's only valid to trade towards midnight one time. Okay. But there's one other way to use midnight, and that's where we just gauge it as a general premium or discounts of the daily trading range. So like if we're trading above midnight and I have a short bias for other reasons, which I have some valid ideas on why we could go lower still, then the midnight open can be my gauge that we're in a premium of the daily trading range. So positioning myself short above midnight, I'll have a better time with those shorts than trying to position myself short below midnight. But it really is still anyone's market today. Like bulls or bears. The bulls are in control since the open, but we're still in some higher time frame key levels that we could reject from. Like I said, this 4-hour fair value gap is absolutely key. We have 2.5 hours left on this candle, so we're not going to know by the time the stream ends what happens with this 4-hour closure. But I will say, if we do get a 4-hour candle closure above 180, 25, 180, I think it will be very clear for us to make it up to a new all-time high. I think that will be clear as day if that happens. Now, if this 4-hour candle closure ends up rejecting and we close beneath the gap and the gap still holds as resistance, that's a good sign for us to go a little bit lower. But I mean, the bulls just can't be stopped sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see. I do think I have a good low hanging fruit target, this 5-minute gap, or I think it's a 15-minute gap in general. Yeah, this 15-minute gap, right? So we just got to be patient right now. There's also a slight bearish SMT. So right here, this is what I was trying to mark out. ES has made a lower high so far from the 9:50 a.m. high to here, while NQ made a higher high. So there is a bearish SMT, so that could help the short idea a little bit. But you know how the market goes. If it wants to go up, it's going to go up. Do some analysis on gold. I can do that. Yeah, let's run it. Let's take a look at gold real quick. Remember, guys, stay tuned. We're going to give away 2 more accounts. I got 2 more to give away. We'll do it soon. So stay tuned. How many likes we got on the vid, on the stream? We're at 115. Guys, if we can get to 125, we'll run another giveaway. And in the meantime, I'm happy to look at gold. So let's do like a top-down analysis on gold. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. So first off, you guys see, I had this daily fair value gap marked out on gold. I said this is going to be a key level coming into this sell-off, and it could act as support. So market retraced into this daily fair value gap finally. And I said, if we get a daily closure below this gap, so that would be around like 4,035, I think we could go lower. We did not get a candle closure. So right now, this is holding as support, and it looks like we're getting a nice pop up. Now, remember, we're still in like an insanely bullish uptrend. So a deep pullback like this, you know, market participants can see this as a really strong discount on gold as an instrument. So I think this is a good area for potential longs. I mean, it did work out already intraday. And this is where I always like to narrow things down. So this was an overall daily fair value gap, but look, we could also narrow this down. There was a 4-hour gap right here. So this is how you can kind of refine your support and resistance zones with fair value gaps. You mark out the overall zone off a higher time frame like the daily And then we bring it down and I find a 4-hour gap that's within that daily. And look, it helps narrow down where the support is on this level. So yeah, bouncing from this 4-hour gap, we go down to a 1 hour. We might be getting a market structure shift soon. So I think if we could clear this level with displacement, I think higher time frame, we could continue higher. But also, we might already be able to think that because we inversed this 1 hour gap, right? Hourly closure above it. So that's a good sign. Maybe a retest in here could be good for longs to take out this wick. I like something like that. The market structure neck could be a decision point for gold. Yep, agreed. Hello, Baba. I don't know how to say your name. Baba Japtu. Sorry if I butchered it, but welcome. I'm glad you're new. Come, welcome to the stream, brother. We're here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We got guests, we got live trading, and you got a host that actually takes payouts. Bro, how can I know it's bullish SMT or bearish SMT? Good question. I got you on that. So here, I'll give you a quick masterclass in SMT divergence. Let's clean up this chart. So here we go. First off, what is an SMT divergence? An SMT divergence is a divergence in the price action between two correlated assets. So first off, if you're going to be using SMT, you need to be looking at two assets that are correlated. For example, NQ and ES. Those are two correlated assets. Another example would be Euro USD and GBP USD. Those are two correlated assets. They generally move in tandem with each other. So for example, if ES makes a higher high, NQ usually makes a higher high. But there are instances where NQ makes a higher high, but ES makes a lower high, right? So we understand that. So let's just use this. Let's go over a bearish example. Let's say market's moving up. This is ES, by the way. Let's say it comes into some resistance, right? And it does this. So it comes into resistance, makes a lower high, lower low, lower low. Okay, let's say this is ES. Let's say this is a resistance zone it came into. And now let's say this is NQ right here. We'll show the same thing. And I'll show you what the difference is. NQ is making higher highs, comes into resistance, right? So let's say right here, comes into resistance, makes a low, makes one more higher high, and then slams down. The SMT would be this. ES made a lower high from this swing point to this swing point. If we look at the NQ chart and you see that, it made a higher high from the same swing point to the next swing point. That's your SMT. So if you're familiar with RSI divergence, right, it's similar concept, but it's based solely off the price action. So this is a bearish SMT because we're up at resistance and it's happening at the highs. A bullish SMT is the same thing, just inversed, right? So in a bullish scenario, let's say this is a support floor, right? And it would be something like this. Market's moving lower, comes into support, okay? Puts in a higher low and a higher high, right? Let's say this is ES. It puts in a higher low right here. Let's say this is NQ, doing the same exact thing, comes into support, makes a lower low into the support, then goes higher. NQ made a lower low right here at support. ES made a higher low. There's your bullish SMT divergence. So it's a bullish SMT when it's happening at the lows, and it's a bearish SMT when it's happening up at the highs. So that's it. And we have a real world example on the chart right now. Let's see if it's still holding. I don't know how this, I haven't looked at NQ in a sec. Oh God, we're in drawdown again, guys. Yeah, this might be a red day, which happens all the time to me, man. I have red days after payouts. It's just a thing. We'll see. I'm giving this the room it needs though. But technically we still have this. So ES is made a lower high right here. NQ keeps making higher highs. So there is a bearish SMT on the lower time frame. Now, just like anything else, the higher the time frame SMT, the higher probability it is. So if you see something on a 1 minute, might not be that high probability. You see the same thing on a 15 minute or a 1 hour, it's going to be much higher probability. Let's see, did we hit 125, guys? We're at 115. Can we hit 120 before we run another giveaway? 6 more legs. Let's run it, guys. But yeah, I'm probably going to hold this. I don't know. I'm starting to think I might just have the incorrect bias for the day. I think the 80% setup's going to play out. Yeah, I think it could happen. All right, I'm going to put my stop above 210. I don't feel like holding this. We'll give it a second. Yeah, we do have a bearish SMT at the moment, Sam, but honestly, bro, it's like not looking great. Like it's beginning to look like it's going to fail. Doesn't look that strong anymore. But we'll see. We'll see. The big problem area right now with me still liking shorts is this previous day's point of control above us. It's acting as a magnet right now. Yeah, I Am God says zoom out always. Yeah, you want to have a good read on the higher time frame to get good context for the lower time frame trading. Hey, Luna's in the chat. What up? Oh, you missed the Zach stream? Yeah, it was good. It was a solid one, bro. It was fun. Whose birthday is it? I keep seeing happy birthday in the chat. Luna, what you got on bias, bro? You bullish or bearish today? Shout out Luna Trades, though, guys. Luna was here on stream a few days ago. Someone said it's my birthday. It ain't my birthday. Not even close. My birthday's in July, man. It already passed. I had shorts and long setups planned out, so both/neither. Word. Yeah, I'm keeping it chill, man. I just took a nice 10K payout on Tradeify, so trading small, trading 3 micros right now. I was just saying this in the chat. I feel like, bro, every day after I take a payout, I'm usually red the next day, so it might be the same situation today. But it's okay, you know? Celebrating that 10K payout with some Zin. 3 milligram, keeping it tight. All right, we're coming back into profit. We'll see. We'll see. Just took 500 last night. Nice. What firm? Ooh. Okay. Starting to rip. Yeah, W's in the chat for Luna. Nice, bro. Listen, $500 payout's good too, bro. So I really want to try to hold this for this 5-minute fair value gap if it plays out. I think we could draw into this zone, take out 83. Yeah, I don't hate it. I do not hate it. Again, 4-hour fair value gap is still technically holding. It's just tough because we got 2.5 hours on this. But I'm hoping this turns into a wick to take us lower. I really don't think I'm in a bad position. The problem is the market is just so insanely bullish all the time. So like, it's always a little bit riskier trying to short the NASDAQ, but I think it's a good trade. Like, I don't hate this trade at all. Feels like my birthday every day I follow my trade plan. Dude, facts. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah, I think we can get 80s, guys. I'm just gonna hold it. This trade probably will. I'll still be running this trade even when we get out of the stream, unless it just tanks. I think we can get 80s. Look, I'm going to speak too soon. It's going to reverse now. We'll see. We'll see, chat. This song got me wanting to go fast on a highway. Dude, I feel you. It's a little aggressive. Did we hit 120, guys? You know, I know we're almost done. We're almost done for the day. Did we hit 120? I want to run one more giveaway for y'all. It's going to be harder because, you know, as the stream begins to end, it gets harder. We get, you know, people start filtering out. Should we add some magnets? I don't know though, Shavam. The other day we added magnets and it did not help me. It actually made my trade worse. All right, let's run one magnet. But I feel like, watch, this is going to be the bad omen. Where are the magnets? There you go. Come on. Come on. Down, 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 down. I feel like the market gods, they say if you start doing this, this is when you lose the trade. I'm like desperate. You know what I mean? It feels desperate. Now it looks good. Listen, if it works today, I'll keep doing magnets and hammers. But the other day, it didn't help me, bro. It didn't help me one bit. A Trump photo? Dude, that was actually really funny. I gotta add a photo of Trump just saying anything. make the market think Trump's talking, then it'll move. Guys, imagine this actually worked. Like all you had to do was like get a digital hammer and go like this in either direction and market just went your way. That'd be fun. Trump photo with Xi Jinping. Yo. Damn, yo. The chat has got jokes today, man. I love it. Wait, can I actually add a photo in here? Is that a thing? I think I can. Hold up. Let's do this. This is perfect. Let's see if we can add this. Okay, I could add this, I think, right? How do I add an image? I know there's a way. Oh, wait, hold up. Where is it? Hold on. It won't let me add it, bro. What's the problem? Oh, and I got one more attempt. Here, I got an idea. All right, Trump is speaking. Let's make the market think Trump's talking. There we go. Go down. Did we hit 120? All right, we need one more like, chat. Can we get one more like for this giveaway? Come on, we got jokes today. Look, it's actually working. Oh my God. As our next guest on Prop Firm Match TV, I call President Donald Trump to the stage. Yo, bro. Dude, is this gonna work? Oh my God, dude. What? No way. Oh my God. This is real trading. I'm going to give up on ICT, guys. No volume profile, no ICT. Hammers, magnets, Trump. That's the trifecta right there. That's the trifecta. Those are the three legs of the bar stool that hold up the market. Magnets, hammer, and Trump. All right. Did we get 120 likes? All right, we're at 124. Sick. Okay, let's run the giveaway. We'll run the giveaway, guys. All right, we're going to give away. Hold up. Bro cracked the downside market by adding Trump to the screen. Oh my God. All right. All right, I got 2 Blue Guardian futures accounts to give away. All right, so let's run it, guys. All right, let's do this. To enter the giveaway, I want you to type Trump in the chat. Type Trump in the chat. Enter the giveaway for 2 Blue Guardian futures accounts. You got 45 seconds to enter. Bro, I swear to God, if this works, this is going to be so sick. We're probably not going to hit my TP on stream still, but I'll make sure to update everyone on X. Make sure you're following me on X, guys. I am Zarb is my handle. You can find it in the description of the video. All right, you got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. All right, that's going to be it for the entries. Let's run this. All right, we're gonna keep it simple. Let's just do a quick pinwheel, guys. We gotta head off after this, you know. Let's get these names in here. All right, we ready, chat? We ready? Run it. 2 Blue Guardian futures accounts. We'll do 2 spins. Trader Jewel Kate, you were the winner. Congrats. You want a Blue Guardian futures account. Remember, guys, if your country is restricted on the firm that we give away, There's nothing we can do. We can't give you a different account. We can't change it up. You're not going to be able to get the account. So make sure before you enter, make sure before you claim that your country is supported and that you can trade. Also, if you've won a giveaway already this week, you cannot trade another. You cannot enter again and win 2 giveaways in a week, 1 per week. But yeah, congrats. I see you in here in the chat, Trader Jewel Kate. So we'll remove your name. And again, to enter, what you're going to do is you are going to DM Prop Firm Match support on X. Okay. Send them a screenshot, send them proof of your YouTube name matching. Hey, there's Joseph right there. Hold up. Shout out Joseph. First day on the funded. Okay, red day. Not bad, not bad. He's got this, man. You got this, Joseph. If you're watching, he just moved over to futures, first futures account. He got it funded in a day, bro. So shout out to him. But okay, Prop Firm Match support on X. Okay, this is who you're going to contact. You're not going to contact me anymore. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. DM them. Congratulations. Yeah, if you won this week, don't enter the giveaway, guys. Dharmesh, okay? Dharmesh is right. So, Trader Jewel, that's how you get the account. DM Prop Firm Match support. Send them proof that that's your YouTube name. You know, take a screenshot, timestamp. That's it. But okay, let's run one more. I removed Trader Jewel's name, so we'll run one more for one more account. Yeah, guys, we're still waiting on the loyalty code idea. I think it's a good idea, but, you know, we got to see. All right, let's run it. All right, No Mercy Trades. Congrats. You were the last winner. No Mercy Trades. So again, just DM Prop Firm Match support. They'll take care of you there, okay? Again, I'll send the link one more time. Joseph here. Hey, Joseph's in the chat. Let's go, bro. Okay, there you go. Prop Firm Match support. DM them on X. And bam, that's it. You'll get your account. It takes a couple days, okay? So be patient, but you'll get your account. Congratulations. Zach, are you on Killzone later? I haven't caught one yet. Yep, I'll be on today. 1 p.m. Killzone on ASFX TV. I just stay streaming. Yeah, I'll be there today, Wendy, so tap in. One more. No, sorry, I can't. We're out of accounts. We gave them all. What is the use of a loyalty code? Good question. Good question. So the way the loyalty codes work on Prop Firm Match, guys, again, like, you know, we give away accounts, but you also can get the best discounts and you can compare and contrast trusted prop firms. Only trusted prop firms get listed on Prop Firm Match, right? So when you go down and you start looking at the options that we have listed here, you're going to see a code. It's usually code match, but always double check. And you will always get the best discounts possible with code match on, and you can find everything on propfirmmatch.com. Now, the loyalty points, as you use code match and you purchase through the website, you will earn loyalty points, and they could be pretty much, you can use loyalty points to get a free account and get better deals, things like that. So you can build up your loyalty points and get free accounts through it. When Dizzle says, have Joseph on the stream sometime. I would love that. Yeah, if he wants to come on, man. Hey, you know, Joe, if you're watching, you're always welcome, bro. It would be cool to maybe get your take on futures versus Forex. You know, because we got a lot of people moving over to futures. But all right, guys, that's it for today. And I'll be back one more day this week, Friday, right? So again, we're always here live, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, trading live, interviewing guests, you know, talking to good traders. And you got me trading live every single day. I pretty much traded my Tradeify accounts. Every trade I took virtually was taken live on Prop Firm Match TV, and I got a 10K payout doing it. So this isn't a signal group or anything, but like, I trade live, I execute live, and I go over everything I'm thinking. Theoretically, if you follow me, you can do that too. We need Forex perception also. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think we got plans in the works, so no worries. Hey, Joseph said he'll be there. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. I will be back tomorrow, same time as usual. Thanks so much. How's this trade going? Oh, dude. Okay, we're back in drawdown. I'm probably going to cut this, guys. Trump, it worked for a minute, but now Trump is back. Trump did not help altogether. All right, guys. Peace and love. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time as usual. Later.